Aaron Rodgers is out of the dark. The 39-year-old Packers quarterback left a darkness retreat in Oregon after staying there for several days. Rodgers is under contract for almost $60 million in 2023, but hasn't decided if he'll play or retire. ESPN's Harry Douglas.
The biggest fear of NFL owners right now is this league becoming what the NBA is. And players having those guaranteed contracts, and then you have the biggest stars basically running the league. That's their biggest fear. They don't want that. They want full control.
If Rodgers plays with the Packers this year, he'll get almost $60 million guaranteed. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports new Broncos head coach Sean Payton is hiring former Broncos head coach Vance Joseph as the team's new defensive coordinator. For the last 4 years, Joseph was the D coordinator for the Cardinals. He coached the Broncos in 2017 and 2018. Payton will also hire former Chargers offensive coordinator for a still unspecified role on the staff.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on a Thursday, here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere around the world on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. All you got to do is go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can join us in the chat. You want to get in with us immediately, ask us questions throughout the program. The chat is the way to do that on the YouTube stream. We are always streaming live here from the Ingles Studio, and it's just never ending. It's just trying to keep an eye on all of the offseason moves in the NFL, all the coaching hires and such. It's just getting too much. It's getting too much, Jeremy.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is out of the dark. Let's go.
That is
Let's go. You know, as a fan of a team that really needs a quarterback and has been directly attributed to Aaron Rodgers, it makes me nervous that he went straight Unabomber for the last 4 days and went into the woods into a little itty bitty room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen have you seen the pictures at all?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 300 square foot room that's partially in the ground. It has a poo hole and a bed and a yoga mat. That's who you're trying to convince me is going to lead us to a Super Bowl?
Yep, that guy.
At this point, I genuinely think that Aaron Rodgers has become the villain from Far Cry 5. He's got a man bun. He's a little crazy, and I'm not sure that if people follow him, that bad things are going to happen.
Oh, come on. Just because the guy leads a little bit different lifestyle than you, it's not all about heaters and Fireball. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's about transcendental meditation and becoming, getting in touch with your inner self and, of course, all the drugs. There's the drugs.
Yeah, see, that's where you lose me. I'm good. I am a drug. I am on a drug. It's called me. I am the drug.
And as Rick James said, it's a hell of a drug.
Hey, you bet you.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm choosing violence today. So this will be a fun 3 hours.
All right, time to get to the opening drive. And it's always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Check them out at 629 Brevard Road. Go in, check out the showroom, see what kind of new or certified pre-owned vehicles that they have in stock today. Jeremy, you are absolutely in love with the Platinum Rogue.
I have become just plumb bougie because I got a 2023 Platinum Nissan Rogue that is fully outfitted with all of the bells and whistles. I'm not sure that it wouldn't drive itself over here. Don't try that. It won't actually do that. But it has a beautiful camel interior that I'm just absolutely in love with, and you will see pictures of it on social media in the coming days.
They hooked me up with a heck of a deal on my certified pre-owned, my 2017 Rogue. It may not be the Platinum Edition. It may not have, butt coolers and all that kind of stuff. But
mine has butt cooler and butt warmer.
Oh, that's the way to go. The warmer That's like bougie. The cooler, the Keister cooler, that is another level of like superstar that I'm unfamiliar with.
Oh, yeah, if you accidentally turn that on, you'll go, did I piddle? What is?
I don't think that's supposed to be cold.
Well, here's the thing: alcohol, protein, nicotine, anger.
Say maybe you need to go to a doctor.
The diet is not, it's not necessarily where you'd want it to be at all times.
Right. He got a new defensive coordinator with the Denver Broncos. Vance Joseph is back in town.
Good Lord, I would love to hear that. I would have loved to have heard the pitch on that. Hey, Vance, buddy, I know the last time you were here didn't go so great, but you want to come back? You want to do that again?
Plus, today on the program, we'll continue to take a look at the free agency classes by position in this offseason. We'll do wide receivers. We'll also have edge rushers. And something that we haven't done in about a week that we need to pick back up is our offseason previews team by team. And just so happens that where we left off,
it's the New York Jets. Jets.
That's right. We got the Jets and the Patriots to talk about today. What are those two teams going to do in the offseason? How does one take the next step to contention, not only in the AFC East, but in the AFC overall? And the other one, how do they keep from becoming completely irrelevant? So we'll get into all of that right here in the Sportsocracy over the next 3 hours. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is out of the darkness retreat. He went in for 4 days and 4 nights just by himself, getting in touch with, his inner Aaron.
What do you do on a darkness retreat like that?
You just sit in a room and you think.
Oh, that sounds awful.
And you think.
I'd drive myself crazy in about 11 minutes.
Like you're like Pooh Bear. You're just thinking in a hole in the ground somewhere.
Oh, bother.
Because it is. Because the rooms are semi-underground.
Mm-hmm.
Devoid of light. You've got.
Is there a manifesto involved here?
Yeah, that could be.
Aaron, if you wrote anything, could we possibly get a glance at what that sounds like?
Trust me, you don't want that. You don't want that. If you already think Aaron Rodgers is a weirdo because of the ayahuasca cleanse that he did last offseason and the darkness retreat that he's now done this offseason, you don't want to know what's inside that man's head.
Well, and it probably sounds a lot like, I bet it starts with #birds aren't real. There's more similarities between me and Aaron Rodgers than I want to let on.
I was getting ready to say.
We both have man buns. Neither one of us necessarily trusts the government. That's a rabbit hole. I don't want to go down any further.
Kind of ended horse tranquilizers. It's all the same.
What are you, a cop?
Look, I don't.
Am I weird for thinking I don't
question.
want to? Am I just out to lunch going, I don't want to do this? I know Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback that you could possibly procure. And this is I am not being objective here. I am being a fan of the New York Jets because that's the only team he's going to.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders thing, that's adorable. I can give you about 58 reasons it's not going to happen. But as just a pure fan, I'm looking at this going, okay, I don't necessarily need an MVP candidate quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody that your greatest ability is your availability. And you have to go on a 4-day spiritual cleanse. My little one going, I'm good. This is like when you go to this is like when you meet somebody on a dating app and you go to dinner and the restaurant they choose is some weird little hole in the wall with a cat on the counter, and then they tell you how they have 47 cats and they all have little hats and names and backstories, and you go, get me out of here. That's where I'm at with Aaron Rodgers. I'm good.
You're not insane for thinking that. I mean, I've been trying to put myself in your shoes for the last several weeks. If I'm a fan of the New York Jets, what do I want to happen? Do I want to spend $50 million plus a year on
and give up first-round pick?
Right, on a quarterback who, well, let's be honest, he hasn't been a champion in over a decade.
Yeah. And the weirder he's gotten, the less successful he's been. Oh, but he won MVP. Okay, and how many rings he got? How many times has he been a legitimate threat to that ring?
But it's really only been over the last 2 years.
That's when he's been the weirdest.
Completely weird. I mean, he went to Hawaii with his, not supermodel, movie star girlfriend.
That ended badly.
Hanging out with Miles Teller and all of that.
He had a weird mustache.
And then he goes on the ayahuasca vacation or whatever it was.
Red flag.
The cleanse. But then his team sucked. And so how much do you put on Aaron Rodgers for that? I mean, there are certain things that you can point to and go, okay, well, early in the season, he didn't have the connection with his young wide receivers because he didn't come to camp. Mm-hmm. He didn't show up.
Look, my biggest fear with Aaron Rodgers, the New York media would chew him up and spit him out.
I disagree.
I don't. I've been doing this for 30 years. You know what doesn't play particularly well in New York? Weird. You can be weird if you win. The minute you don't win, they will turn on you. But you referenced Brett Favre, how that went so poorly.
Yeah.
The if you know, little kerfuffle he had while he was in New York. That happened
with the
before
text
the
messages and the pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't put his best foot forward.
Yeah.
Don't do that, fellers. Fellers, don't ever do that. It's never a good idea. Not one person on this planet is it a good idea for it. But Brett Favre didn't get killed for that. It was a story for a few days and then it went away because they started 8-3. Mm-hmm. Then his arm fell off his body and the New York media turned on him. And now we look back on that and go, well, that was a failed experiment. No, it was the best 11 games in New York Jets history. But the minute you started losing, they took all of the things you did and ran it up the flagpole, and now you're the weird guy. Now you're the guy that was an absolute albatross for us. I think it's a terrible pairing. I think it's a terrible pairing in Vegas. I think it's a terrible pairing in New York, and he has been insulated in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have an owner of the team. It's a very off the beaten path area. Mm-hmm. So you don't have a media that is just attacking you on everything. I mean, think about it. The media availability he does is with Pat McAfee. It's not with a local beat writer because there are local beat writers, but right. Not anybody that anybody watches.
Right.
So he goes to Pat. Mm-hmm. You can't do that in New York. They will absolutely eviscerate you. And the more I've gone down the rabbit hole, I'm good.
Here's the thing. They'll try, but he doesn't care. And that's when you say, oh, they will rip him apart. No, they won't. He'll be the same arrogant jackwagon that he's always been. It'll just be a little bit more media attention on it.
And that adds a turmoil to the team that I don't need. Mm-hmm. I'm one of the youngest teams in the league. I do not need this guy. You know what I need? I need good and boring.
How important is talent to you? That's the question here. Because you're getting an old quarterback who has a very small window. You're paying him $1 bajillion. And you got to give up draft capital to get him. That's 4 cons right there. If we're making the old-fashioned pro-con list, I've got immense talent, all-time greatest quarterback talent versus all of these negatives. As a Jets fan, I would think, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe Derek Carr will be good in cold weather. I don't know. Maybe we could teach him how to do that. Well, I don't know.
I think that's where people just completely miss the boat. Jets missed playoffs by a game, and they had me playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. I don't need you to be Tom Brady.
But
I need you to be good. Hey, there will be absolutely no Mike White slander on this here program. I'm just the further down this rabbit hole we go, the more I go, you know what? I'm going to go get the guy that doesn't cost me a pick. I'm going to go get the guy that's going to cost me less money, and I'm going to go get me the guy that doesn't go do Unabomber retreats in the woods.
Yeah. I can see all of that. The question is, where are you? Are you that one position away? Are you MVP level type quarterback away from winning it all?
See, and that's the difference.
Because if you do this and you don't, that's going to be a problem.
And that's where I'm at. And so after the break, I want to take this past just the Jets, which has been the obvious landing spot. Mm-hmm. I'll do this with every team that needs a quarterback. Why would I take this headache if I'm not going to be a Super Bowl contender? And we'll go through them, and you're not going to like the results on any of them.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, March the 2nd through the 6th for the 2023 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships. Experience fun for the whole family as your favorite teams compete for the championship and a berth to the NCAA tournament. Get your discounted tickets to the 2023 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships today at your local neighborhood Ingles Market. For more information, visit SoConHoops.com. That's SoConHoops.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine now because people who have joint pain are getting real, lasting relief without drugs or surgery. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting treatment. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. If you have ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics. Steroids and surgery are not your only option, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover this remarkable alternative. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available for everyone tired of joint pain. Don't put this off any longer. Spring is coming and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics now, 828-333-9517. Get a free consultation with local medical professionals. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517, with locations in Asheville and Greenville. That's 828-333-9517.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
This week at Macy's, find big savings on essentials for you and your home, like men's classic polos from Tommy Hilfiger and more. A limited time special at $44.99 to $55.99. 30 to 60% off gorgeous handbags. And 15% off select blenders, juicers, and more for your kitchen. Plus, Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees at Macy's. More at Macy's.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Retreating in total darkness is a common practice for many of the ancient spiritual traditions from around the world. Their dark rooms have appeared in many different forms, from the pyramids of the ancient Egyptians to the catacombs of the ancient Romans and the caves of the Kogi Mamos. Getting in touch with your inner self in complete darkness has been around for ages, Jeremy. I don't know why you think this is so weird.
It's weird.
It's weird. It is weird. I agree with you. It's weird.
All right, so just take it at the sheer nuts and bolts of it. I'm going to go into the woods. I'm worth, I don't know, $300 million. I'm going to go into the woods, and I'm going to spend 4 days in a hole in the ground with a queen bed and a potty and a yoga mat. My next question is going to be, and where do I send the police for whatever it is you're planning to do?
Sometimes you just have to shut the outside world out. Be able to collect your thoughts, figure out who you truly are.
I mean, I've been on a darkness retreat. Mine's a little different than that.
I'm afraid to ask where this goes.
Dark beer, let's go. It's not something I usually do. Out of the element.
I was expecting some kind of experimental Flostradamus treatment where you get blackout drunk and then you just stay in that. Like, you have to keep doing fireball shots every 45 minutes to stay in that realm for multiple days at a time.
So, Friday. That sounds like Friday to about midday Sunday.
Maybe a cry for help somewhere in there. I'm just concerned as a friend. You know. Aaron Rodgers is done with his darkness retreat, and the whole point of this was to figure out where he is right now. Not just on the football field, but off it as well, where his mind's at. Does he want to play again? Does he want to play somewhere else? I
don't think he's going to have that option.
If I had to guess, I would imagine Aaron Rodgers is at the space right now where he knows he can still compete. He's at the Tom Brady stage, the Tom Brady leaving New England stage. I know I can still compete, but I don't know if this is where I want to be anymore. And so it only makes sense to me that he will come out of this and go to the Green Bay Packers and go, what you got? Who's out there? What deal can we make? Because it's just time.
All right, so give me the landing spot that you think they immediately become a Super Bowl contender.
I would say the New York Jets are the closest.
That roster's so young. He's so weird. He's so not, I mean, just at this point, you're just not committed to the game. That's where you're at. This is what happened to you last year. You skipped out on training camp for, the third year in a row?
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't develop a rapport with your receivers until halfway through the year. I'm good. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, we've had 2 trade requests from receivers in a year. I'm out. I don't want to do that. New Orleans Saints, first of all, you couldn't afford to pay him, but let's just say in some hypothetical world, he was on ayahuasca and you could pay him in monopoly money. You a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you're the favorite in the division, and maybe you can win a playoff game.
And that's where I fall in with most of these. And it's a lot of headache. You have to give up the draft capital. You have to pay the money. You have to do something to convince Green Bay to come off of him because it's not going to come cheap for them either. It's a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of moving parts, and I don't know how much you're going to get on the back end. He was fine last year. I don't think he was special, and to expect him to become special again with a new offense, new set of receivers, or is it going to look exactly like it looked last year?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I would err on the side of he'll be more invested. I think the reason that he's been playing this game with Green Bay is just because he's dejected with how it's all gone, and it all became about the money. Remember the I need the new contract because I feel disrespected, blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, we get it. But then when it comes time for football, you're not ready. You're not ready to go. You're not invested. You lost Devontae Adams. They replaced it with a bunch of rookies, and I'm 40 years old. I'm not really interested in doing this again with this team. And then as the season wore on, it was kind of weird because as the season wore on, you felt like they were getting farther and farther away from contending, and then something clicked at the end of the season, and they were almost able to make the playoffs.
And they would have gotten smoked in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I just
feel like a change of scenery would be in order here. We would see not necessarily a different Aaron Rodgers, but a more committed Aaron Rodgers.
And see, to me, it's a fool's errand. That's every joint Facebook account couple of, it'll be different this time. Not everyone. Some of you do it because you don't like social media. I get it. You know what I was saying. It was a joke. Move on.
Right.
I told you I'm choosing violence today. It'll be different this time. Oh, now we're going to buy the big house with the nice schools. No, it's going to be the exact same thing because people habitually do not change.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers has gotten stranger and stranger and stranger by the year. Do you think all of a sudden he's just going to be buttoned up Aaron Rodgers in New York City, or is he going to show up like Nick Cage and Con Air?
It would get worse. To me, I would think that the personality would get worse. I mean, you're in the spotlight of the biggest media market in the country. Yeah, I mean, he's still going to have fun with it. I don't think he changes. I don't really feel like he's changed at all. And maybe I'm crazy for thinking that.
You're certainly crazy.
But after you've achieved so much in the NFL, at some point you don't have to hide it anymore. You don't have to hide.
And that
this.
could be true, but
Right.
now he's much more in the public narrative, and you're opening yourself up to all these opportunities. And this is just the 1 year that you can't do that. Jameson Hensley came out with a report this morning that a trade has never been more likely between the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. He's their beat writer for ESPN.
A trade?
A trade has never been more likely than it is right now.
Okay.
Short of a compromise, that's where this is headed. I'm to the point, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson. I'm not sure it's all that close.
No.
And I'm not even the younger.
Really not.
I'm talking about for the next 3 years, I think you have a better shot to win with him than you do with Aaron Rodgers.
I would agree. Hell, you and football Farley Brian Haynes made fun of me when I said 2 off seasons ago that the championship window had closed for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I get he came back and won an MVP after that, but still they haven't been a quote-unquote contender since then. And I don't think they're going to be. Aaron has to have a change of venue and a change of heart. And I don't know if that's going to give it to him, but I really don't think it's going to be something that can be achieved in the next 2 years.
And I'm paraphrasing here, but Stephen Tao and Tyler Cunningham in our YouTube comments basically both said the same thing of he's an attention seeker.
Mm-hmm.
And he spends a lot of time doing things to make sure people talk about him. So you're telling me you're going to go out of remote, isolated Wisconsin into the biggest media market in the world or one of the biggest tourist destinations in the world in Las Vegas. You think it's going to get better? You think him having things to do, Broadway being 30 minutes away or the Vegas Strip being 20 minutes away, you think he's going to get less of this? No. I would say it's more likely he goes further into it, and 6 months from now you're going, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, you think about it on the backside. Green Bay is looking at this. What is their best alternative to be competitive this year? Let's lather up and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not even an option at this point. They put it out there that they're disgusted with him, that the darkness retreat thing is ridiculous, the fact that he has basically just blocked them off the entire offseason. They're done. They're ready to move on. And that is always a red flag. When you have an athlete or a person, anything, that is this attractive from the outside in, that where they are right now wants rid of them so badly, that's a red flag. Because you see what he wants you to see,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably something much darker behind closed doors. For Green Bay to be this over it, because this is going to be Brett Favre 2.0. It takes 10 years for you to mend the relationship. It's awkward. It's clunky. And so now you'll have done this with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that spent 98% of their careers with you.
Yep.
That has to be really, really bad.
I think it's all part of the relationships. The relationships within that building cannot be good. I mean, you can dust it off, and last offseason when you signed the 4-year, $500 million contract or $200 million contract or whatever it was, you could dust it off and say, okay, we've mended fences. But there can't be a good relationship between Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur or Aaron Rodgers and Brian Gutekunst after all the smack that has been talked about, whether he wants to be there, whether or not he wants to be there. I feel like in a certain sense, Green Bay took care of him on the money side, and that was good enough for the time being. But they haven't, I don't know, I guess given him the tools to succeed. Or he feels like. And I don't know that he's wrong. He had a decent roster, had a decent offensive line, 2 pretty good running backs for the last couple of years. Obviously, the weapons weren't great outside of Devontae Adams. But I don't think Matt LaFleur is a great coach. He's good. He's not great.
He's
I don't know if I see him as a Super Bowl champion coach.
No.
And maybe Aaron realizes it too. It's going to be fun to follow. But, I mean, as far as New York goes, Atlanta, Tennessee, who are the other team? Las Vegas.
Am I weird for saying I see Tennessee being the one that actually makes the call? To cling on to some version of competitiveness?
I wouldn't hate
Somebody in the YouTube comments asked if there was any truth to the Jets being interested in Ryan Tannehill. He would be playing
D.
I was going to say R. But, I mean, I guess it could be possible, but you're going to have to get a lot of no's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the Jets right now.
Ryan Tannehill is the – okay, so I like analogies. At this point, the Jets they're the kid trying to find a date to the prom. And Aaron Rodgers is the head cheerleader. And Derek Carr is just a notch right below that, and Ryan Tannehill would be going with your cousin. That's about where they fall in on these things.
You're in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers cruise in from the southwest. This is a little cold front trying its best to push our way and drop the numbers for Friday and the weekend. It's been a very warm day today. Light showers tonight, 50 degrees. Friday, cloudy, high 60, low 45. Some quarter-inch rains Friday night into Saturday morning. Showers on Saturday, cooler, high 54 degrees. We return to the upper 60s, though, by Monday next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, select chairs are up to 50% off, like the Union & Scale Essentials Mesh Back Task Chair, now just $89.99 at Staples. In-store only, offer ends $225 while supplies last. Staples, the working and learning and saving store.
Asheville, the ultimate battle. March 17th and 18th, the Egg Center. Here they come. 3D monster trucks, starring Lone Wolf, Battling Boss Gator, and more. Tickets now at MonsterTNT.com or buy at Allen's Jewelry and Pawn for free pit passes.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and I have heard a lot of excuses for teams losing games in my sports watching career. But I think this is a new one. So Providence played UConn the other night, and, well, the head coach of the Providence Friars, Ed Cooley, had something to say after the game about the contest that took place at Gamble Pavilion in Storrs, Connecticut, where they hosted $2 beer night. And after Providence loses 87-69, so this wasn't like just it's a really close game. It's like, no. Number 18 UConn absolutely smoked Providence on $2 beer night. And after the game, Ed Cooley said, I thought our team was soft and not connected. I think the crowd had something to do with that. So the $2 beers worked because apparently it was an atmosphere unlike any other that they had experienced in Storrs, Connecticut before, or at least Providence had seen in any trip to UConn. Forward Alex Caravan from UConn said that we might need to continue $2 beer night because I never heard Gamble get that loud. So maybe from now on, $2 beer night needs to be the thing for the UConn Huskies men's basketball team.
So what you're telling me is you give people cheap booze and they get louder.
Shocker.
That could actually be the name of my autobiography.
Yeah, apparently hats off to the UConn faithful for getting absolutely blitzed the other night and just completely throwing number 20 Providence off of their game because they got smoked.
The Denver Broncos have a new defensive coordinator, and it's a familiar face. Vance Joseph. And was he their coordinator before? No, he was their head coach. He was the head coach 4 years ago. He got fired, and now he's coming back with Sean Payton.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
It has happened before. In fact, it's happened in Denver Broncos franchise history before.
Well, I will tell you they were all in on Vic Fangio.
Right.
Who was the coach that they had just fired a year ago. And he took the Miami Dolphins job because he went, Sean, I'd love to be with you, buddy, but I am not going back there.
Right. Where I ripped that Band-Aid off, it still kind of stings. I don't know that we want to go back into that.
I would kill to have heard how this conversation went. Like, Vance, buddy, they're not going to love you at first. It's going to be a bumpy ride. He was 11-21 as their head coach. Okay, maybe I'm egotistical. I am. There is no way I could go back to somebody that fired me. No way. Not as a coach. I got 31 other opportunities. Vance Joseph, I'm sure, was in demand because he's a high-level coach in this league.
Maybe.
There's no way I go back there.
I mean, I don't know how in demand he would be. He was the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, which wasn't really anything to write home about.
And I don't disagree with that.
I get that he's going to a team that's got way more talent.
I mean, he's a good
Cardinals
hire.
have.
I'm just really disappointed it's not Rex Ryan.
Yeah,
Rex Ryan would have been a lot of fun because he was one of the three finalists. It was Rex Ryan, Pat Matricia, and Vance Joseph.
And maybe ultimately that was part of the decision was to go with Vance Joseph because I'll be honest with you, he was the head coach for 2 years for the Denver Broncos. I still don't know that I've ever heard him speak. So I mean,
it's not a bad point.
Right. I mean, like if I played you a clip of Vance Joseph, could you pick that out and go, yeah, that's Vance Joseph?
Probably not. But here's what I do know unequivocally.
But Rex Ryan he's a big personality, and maybe he would have taken some of the shine off of Sean Payton. I don't know.
Look, Rex dipped a toe into the waters, and I know without a shadow of a doubt he'd have put his best foot forward.
Oh, good for you.
I love Rex.
He's got to do weird feet things.
I've met Rex. I love Rex.
I mean,
he
it
also
is
has
strange.
the biggest teeth I've ever seen. I think he got his veneers done.
I don't think they're real, yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt they're not real.
Okay.
People's teeth are not that big. There's no doubt they're veneers.
I mean, he went to Gary Busey's dentist.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely he did. And good for you for coming up with that.
I mean, Vance Joseph going back to Denver, it's like you said, it's not a bad hire.
No, it's just
He's a
weird
good defensive
hire.
coach. It's just weird. Can you name the other time that happened in Denver Broncos history?
Was it an offensive guy?
No.
For some reason, I thought Gary Kubiak. No, I can't.
Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips was the head coach in like 94. And then later,
I was 7 years
yeah,
old.
and then later came back as the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, but that was like 20 years later. Wade Phillips had worked for every team in the league. Once you've worked for 17 teams, there's going to be some overlap.
Sure.
Wade Phillips is the head coach of the Houston Gamblers now, or something ridiculous name in the XFL. The Houston Roughnecks.
I guess, can we put Dom Capers in that
No,
category
but we
now?
need to talk about Dom Capers, okay?
Look, leave him alone.
What in the world is that hair?
Leave that man alone.
Dom Capers is the first person in NFL history to ever wear a hat of hair to a press conference. I mean, there's no doubt it's not his. And I don't know if it was I don't know if that was a toupee. I don't know if possibly he killed something on the outside and just skint it and put it upon his head.
I don't know.
I know he got his hair treatment from Ryan Day, though.
100%.
There's no. Dom Capers' hair looks like Ryan Day's beard. And if you put both of those things on one person, they would look like a Lego.
I mean, it looks jet black.
Oh,
and you know he's 73 years old, and there ain't no way he doesn't have one sprig of gray hair.
He was balding when he was the head coach of the Panthers in 1996. That's one of those things I've never understood.
He went to Afghanistan, got the plugs, and
no. The plug job is way better than that. No, he went to a Jose bank and took a rug off the floor and put it on his head and painted it black with spray paint. If you don't know what we're talking about, Google it. Yeah. It is hard to look away from.
It's quite comical. It is. I mean, because it takes you aback when you pull up the picture, because you have this mental picture of Dom Capers from 1995. Like if you were around this area when the team first came into existence. You remember Dom Capers well. You'll never forget that face. And his hair never aged. Like, he's been gone since 1998, 99, something like that.
It is somewhere around there. His hair aged. I mean, we could do a progression over the years, because his hairline was retreating. Let's put it this way: if we were in a war game, his hair side was losing. And then all of a sudden, his hairline went to the middle of his forehead.
Like LeBron James, shockingly, when he made a movie.
We have our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from Gage Camplin. He's talking about the Aaron Rodgers story. He says, feels a little overblown. Guy was away for 4 days. Media's fishing for a story. If I'm a contending roster and can get Aaron Rodgers, I'm all for it. Here's why it's not fishing for a roster, because it's about the 8th weird thing he's done. And you got to look at the timeline. Look at the timeline of what you're doing here. You're putting yourself above the team. If this was the first time you had ever done that, it wouldn't be a story. It's not. It's 4th year in a row. And that's the reason teams around the league are looking at this going, I don't know. Nobody questions the talent.
Mm-hmm.
They're just looking at it going, you strike me as a real headache. And Vegas is apparently in love with every rookie quarterback. So they're taking one of those from everything I've heard.
Yeah, that never made sense anyway.
Well, maybe because you're not a contender.
Right. Aaron Rodgers to Las Vegas never made sense, because why would he do that? And you think about the quarterback moves, you always go to a good situation for the swan song of your career. I mean, if you're at the top of the game and you have those kinds of options. Obviously, there are guys who just kind of slip into the ether. But for the most part, if you've got options at the end of your career, you're not choosing someone that has zero shot of winning even their division.
Yes.
So Las Vegas never made sense to me.
No.
Atlanta makes a little bit of sense because you could at least win a division, but why?
You throw Atlanta out there a lot.
But why would you want that?
It makes zero sense.
Well, because they're one of the teams that you look at and go, they're probably not going to be able to draft one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this class. and they don't have a solution at quarterback. You're not sticking with Desmond Ridder. As much as they want to say, oh, well, we like Desmond. Okay, well, we saw him play for, 5 games? Steady minutes, and he's awful. He's Malik Willis bad.
Don't be shocked if it's Desmond Ridder. He's not. First of all, it is comical to me that you just said he is Malik Willis bad. I could count on one hand the number of quarterbacks I've ever seen that are Malik Willis bad. And Desmond Ridder ain't one of them.
He might as well be.
Speaking of the Tennessee Titans,
I'm your huckleberry.
Soaring Eagle with ain't no way a lot of people will be in on Ryan Tannehill with that nightmare contract. No, he's going to get cut.
No, the contract
He'll be cut,
is going to be
and
gone.
he's going to be about $10 million.
Right. The contract will be gone. There's no question about that. I mean, cutting him, I think I read yesterday the Tennessee Titans will save like $18 million or something.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money. There's no question that he's going to be released. So, no, teams won't have to deal with the contract. There won't be a trade. He'll just be cut outright, and then he'll be able to make his deal. And he'll get a deal in the neighborhood of $10 to $15 million to – I mean, I'll be surprised if it's much more than that.
I'll be surprised if it's that much. And the only team I see doing it.
Right now, the Atlanta Falcons would pay him $17 million to come in and be their quarterback.
Last year they paid Marcus Mariota $12.
Right. He's better than Marcus Mariota.
And it wasn't good. He's better, yes, but it's not aggressively better.
No, it's not aggressively better. I'm just saying that they would.
No, I mean, he's what I said earlier. He's going to the prom of your cousin. I mean, yeah, you have a date. All right. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
You're not happy about it.
No. I mean, you'll play like you are.
I mean, nobody's going to hold a press conference and go, hey, look, we got Ryan Tannehill.
Exactly.
You know what else we got? $2 beers.
Right. You'll do that thing that the Carolina Panthers did last year after the draft where they went, oh, Matt Corral, he was the best quarterback on our board.
Oh, speaking of that,
okay.
I reported this last night on the UNCA broadcast. Apparently the Panthers are not going to chase Derek Carr. Is that not weird to you?
It is, but I mean, I understand it, I think.
Why?
I don't know that.
Okay, so, all right, you're maddeningly inconsistent sometimes.
Okay.
So it makes sense for the Atlanta Falcons to chase whoever because they could win the division. But you get why Carolina wouldn't chase Derek Carr. They'd be the best team in that division by 4 games. Especially on a day that a report comes out that Kyle Trask is who Tampa Bay's planning on going with in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one of these teams is irrelevant. We're down to 3.
Yep.
The other one is in an absolute cap hell. We're down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's Atlanta and Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why you wouldn't.
What's the goal? Are the Carolina Panthers in this to win divisions or to build an eventual champion?
But how are you going to do that?
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know that Derek Carr is the answer. I don't think signing Derek Carr puts you in a better position to win a Super Bowl. Your team's not that good.
In the NFC, I don't know that I agree with you.
Well, that's great.
You can go from
great. We can win the NFC and then get smoked by the AFC in the Super Bowl.
It still puts you in a Super Bowl.
Sure, it does, and it can still earn you $50 million if you're Jalen Hurts, but where you don't deserve that money. But you're going to get it anyway, and good for you. But I don't understand the Derek. I mean, I do understand why that would come out. I don't know if we want to do the Derek Carr thing.
Well, there was a ... to that. If he lowers his price and doesn't sign right away, they could be a buyer later. Okay, now that makes 0 sense.
Okay.
So if we can get you cheaper, then all of a sudden it just doesn't make any sense to me. That tells me they're either chasing a rookie or they think Sam Darnold's the guy. Of which you could convince me of either one. I love Sam Darnold. Always have, probably always will.
Yeah.
And he's 8 months older than Hendon Hooker.
I don't envy the job that Frank Reich has.
I look at a team that goes that all in on the coaching staff. All right, you bring in Frank Reich, you bring in Jim Caldwell, Ajiro Vero, Dom Capers, all these other. Okay, that's going all in on the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
Deuce Staley.
But the question is, what do you? It's the term that you always use. Do you want to jump in line too soon? Do I want to spend $45 million a year to get Derek Carr in here? I don't know what it's going to cost, but it'll be somewhere in that neighborhood.
And that's a good analogy, at least for this situation, because if you're Carolina, you're jumping from your middle of the pack in line to, okay, now you're the next one at the box office.
And now
there aren't that many tickets.
And there's much more of a path for me to sign the next Kirk Cousins than there is for me to sign the next Matthew Stafford that's going to win me a Super Bowl. And I don't know that I want to pay that money. Maybe we'll just take our chances, see what happens this year. If we're competitive, great. If we're not, then we're in position to draft a quarterback next year.
Oh, I mean, if they stay in the top 10, it's going to be a quarterback. I struggle to believe they're not taking a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they've said this about Derek Carr.
And maybe let's trade up. Trading up's always a possibility, too. Go ahead and get the franchise guy in there.
It's been the cheapest year you've ever done it.
Yeah, let's start. Let's start the rookie clock, and let's go get one. Let's trade into the top 3, and let's go get one.
You're not getting into the top 3.
I can go further down that path than I can, we'll just sign Derek Carr, and he'll be fine.
You're not getting into the top 3. Let me shut that down for you right now. The Chicago Bears will not drop further than 4. Arizona will not come away from this draft without having one of those 2 elite defensive players.
Okay.
They know they will get one. They will not move.
Okay. So
and from what I've been told, they don't care which one it is.
So Seattle,
now, you get to 5 with Seattle.
Right.
The problem for Seattle is okay. So you make the move, and that's the one that makes the most sense. The only problem is you get to 9 with Seattle and go, okay, so who do we take now? In the last mock draft, they had them take a corner. They've never taken one earlier than the 3rd round. I know that. I just don't know what you're supposed to take.
It's the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, it'll be time for Jeremy's Bangers of the Night. The NBA is back. Don't watch it, but you can still gamble on it.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
The new Crispy Melt Taco is now at Taco Bell. Some facts about it are, 1, its shell is freshly fried daily. 2, it has a melty cheesy blend inside. And 3, it comes with seasoned beef or black beans. And totally feel free to drop those Crispy Melt Taco facts whenever you want, too. Like maybe save them for when a friend's like, what should we eat? And you say, Crispy Melt Tacos. And they're like, nah. And then you need to make an airtight case for why they're wrong.
The new Crispy Melt Taco. Try one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation which vary.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch.
Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Hey, it's Brian from the Sports Freaks, inviting you to join us live on location Monday night at Bear's Smokehouse on Cox Avenue in downtown Asheville. It's a Big South Tournament preview show with the head coaches of the Bulldogs, Mike Morrell and Honey Brown. We'll have some cool giveaways and awesome food as well. Come on out and join us Monday, 6 to 8, Bear's Smokehouse, downtown Asheville.
Coffee still closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Undefeated last night in picks that didn't involve the North Carolina Tar Heels, and winless in picks that did. The NBA returns tonight, and we will largely lean on that to make the doll hairs this evening. This is Greene on Greene, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. One game in college basketball tonight that I cannot resist. Number 21 Northwestern is a 5.5-point dog at Illinois. Northwestern is the real-life Sasquatch of college basketball. No one's ever seen them, but if you do, it tends to end badly. This team is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 and has already blown Illinois out once this year. Now, those things by themselves would not be enough to give me a significant lean. But then you add in that Illinois has lost 3 of 5 and is just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 against teams with winning records. That makes this line seem off. Illinois is inconsistent but very talented, and it wouldn't shock me at all if they found a way to win this game. However, it would stun me if they covered 5.5. So give me the points and the Chris Collins Cats. To the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers take on my 2023 soon-to-be NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Denver is practically unbeatable at home, but they're much more moral on the road. This game is in Cleveland, and the Nuggets could be without 2 primary options in Aaron Gordon, who's already been ruled out, and Jamal Murray, who missed the last 6 games before the All-Star break with a knee injury. Now, this could be a trap. The Cavaliers are one of the best defensive teams in the league, but that's due to Jared Allen and Evan Mobley being the forces they are down low. Nikola Jokic will pull them away from the basket, which makes them much less effective. I think this game will be close, but the Nuggets' lack of options at the rim make me think Jokic probably gets in foul trouble and gives the Cavaliers a win here. I'm taking the Cavs, and I'm giving the 3. And finally, the Los Angeles Lakers are a 6-point favorite tonight at home against the Golden State Warriors. Over-under is 238.5. This is the first of what will become a bit of a trend in this segment over the next few weeks. Vegas doesn't change its mind easily on teams this late in the season. The new-look Lakers have only played 1 game together, but they absolutely blew the doors off the Pelicans in that 1 game. The Warriors are thin without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins tonight, and that should be enough for an easy home win for the Lake Show. Golden State has been absolutely horrid on the road all year long, but they do tend to score a lot of points in those games with Jordan Poole running the point. Now, Lakers win convincingly. I'll give the 6, and I'm going to hammer the over 238.5. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, Greene on Greene is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers cruise in from the southwest. This is a little cold front trying its best to push our way and drop the numbers for Friday and the weekend. It's been a very warm day today. Light showers tonight, 50 degrees. Friday, cloudy, high 60, low 45. Some quarter-inch rains Friday night into Saturday morning. Showers on Saturday, cooler, high 54 degrees. We return to the upper 60s, though, by Monday next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services of Asheville.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville, 684-1582.
The new Crispy Melt Taco is now at Taco Bell. Some facts about it are, 1, its shell is freshly fried daily. 2, it has a melty cheesy blend inside. And 3, it comes with seasoned beef or black beans. And totally feel free to drop those Crispy Melt Taco facts whenever you want, too. Like maybe save them for when a friend's like, what should we eat? And you say, Crispy Melt Tacos. And they're like, nah. And then you need to make an airtight case for why they're wrong.
The new Crispy Melt Taco. Try one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation which vary.
Want to be 100% certain about your taxes? Jackson Hewitt backs your return for life. Switch today and get 50% off tax prep. 50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Sports Center. He's a degenerate gambler.
I'm Doug Brown. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has almost $60 million in guaranteed money waiting for him if he plays another season in Green Bay. He could also retire or be traded. And the Packers are hoping Rodgers will make a decision before the start of free agency in mid-March. The Broncos will hire former Denver head coach Vance Joseph as the team's new defensive coordinator. Former Chargers offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi will take an unspecified role on Sean Payton's staff. Back to work in the NBA tonight after the All-Star break. The Lakers hosting the Warriors. Can the retooled Lakers turn their season around and revive LeBron James's tenure in Los Angeles? ESPN's Jeff Van Gundy.
It hasn't been the overwhelming success that I think everyone expected it to be. And if not for the bubble championship, it would probably be viewed by even him as disappointing to have not made the playoffs, to have gone out early.
Jeff Van Gundy on KJ and Max. College basketball, 11 Eastern on ESPN2. Gonzaga hosting San Diego.
If you want to find quality new hires in the new year, post on Indeed. When you sponsor a post, you'll get matched instantly with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 out in Waynesville. And, of course, you can hear us everywhere and take us with you everywhere you go with the iHeart Radio app. And we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat each and every day. It is 4 o'clock on a Thursday here in the Ingles studio, and that means it is Tar Heel time with the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jones Angel. ESPN Asheville, your home for UNC basketball all season long, and well, the season is quickly coming to a close here, and it is I don't know what you want to label this as a Tar Heel fan. Is it time to buckle down? Is it panic time? Is it I don't know what? But Jones, you have a front seat to all of the action, and last night was something special.
Certainly a game of two different halves, Tank, and great to be back with you. That first half last night was about as ugly as I can ever remember.
Yeah, atrocious.
For Carolina offensively, just 5 field goals made, no assists and 8 turnovers. Now, of course, it's hard to have assists when you're only making 5 field goals, so those numbers do go together a little bit. But I think considering the competition, which is a Notre Dame team that hasn't had a very good season, although I do think the Irish are probably better than their record suggests, it was just an ugly game. And I thought it was an extreme example of the struggles that the Tar Heels have had offensively here over the entire month of February. And, Tank, just for it's a multitude of reasons, but they're just having trouble putting the ball in the basket. Their other teams are sagging so far down into the paint. They're making it nearly impossible to get the ball to Armando Bacot, at least in any kind of fashion consistently that the Tar Heels would like. It's hard to penetrate into the paint because it is so crowded in there. And the Tar Heels just, they're just unable to hit shots right now. And so that first half, I thought, really showed all of those things in an extreme way. Now, for the Tar Heels, to their credit, they came out, and as you would expect them to, they played much better in that second half and ultimately won the game and did some things that they're going to have to do moving forward to have a legitimate chance to be able to win games. And Tank, for me, For Carolina, it comes down to three things, I think, offensively. When you can't count on being even a decent shooting team, and right now the Tar Heels are not bad, you've got to do three things. You've got to create some easy baskets by getting out in transition, primarily with your defense. And that's been, the Tar Heels have tried to do that a little bit more. It's not necessarily the way I think that Hubert Davis wants to play defensively, but I think that it is a way that Carolina can create some offense. And I think you even saw that, right out of halftime last night. Really what got Carolina going was R.J. Davis got a couple of steals, and it turned into quick points, and it kind of got Carolina's momentum going. The other thing is free throws. And that has been something, probably the one thing that has been the most consistent for Carolina is its ability to get to the free throw line. The challenge there is that you're relying on someone else, the officials, to not help you get there, but they're a part of Carolina drawing fouls and get to the line. Now, Carolina can be aggressive. It can get the ball in areas in which fouls are more likely, all those different things. And that's, I think, going to be important for Carolina to continue to do. And then the third part of that is it's the defense, it's the free throws, it's the offensive rebounds. And to me, Tank, that's where you really saw it last night. Carolina had more than 50 rebounds in the game. Now, some of that's because there were so many missed shots. But they had 23 offensive rebounds and 23 second-chance points. And so when you can't count on just quality offense, and I don't think it's because Carolina's running bad stuff. I think it's because they haven't been able to get open looks to go down, then you've got to rely on other ways to score. And so that, I think, will be really critical here moving forward for the Tar Heels over these last 3 games of the regular season and then on into the postseason as well.
There's been a lot of talk about the chemistry of this team, and when you see it on the floor, I mean, I don't know, it just looking at these guys, it feels like it's just disjointed. Like there doesn't seem to be a plan going into some of these sets. And I know that's not true, but the thing is, like, well, I mean, you've talked for several weeks now on whether it be the coaches show or the pregame or the postgame shows about finding the better open shot. You may have an open shot now, but make the extra pass to get the wide open shot. Have you seen any, real effort to correct that?
Well, I think some of that, Tank, goes to the problem that the Tar Heels have had. So I do think you've seen that at times. I mean, the Clemson game is the perfect example of when all of that paid off. And I think, like, if you had to say what game in the last month or even in conference play in total, what game do you feel like Carolina has really had fun playing out there? You'd say the Clemson game.
Right.
Well, the reason they look like they're having fun is their shots were going in. And so I think ultimately the answer comes down to, can you as individuals still find some joy in playing basketball and have a cohesive looking group even when your individual shot is not going in? And to me, that's a big question for the Tar Heels, because it's easy to look like you're having fun and flying up and down the field or up and down the court and having a great time when everything's going right. It's harder when the shots aren't going in and things aren't going well. And so, like last night is a good example. I thought the first 8 minutes or so, Carolina was actually pretty good offensively as far as what it was doing, as far as moving the ball, moving themselves, getting good looks. Their shots just weren't going in. And I do think at some point the lack of the shots going in affected everything else. So that to me is what can can you have the consistency? Can you have the stick-to-itiveness to keep doing those things even when it's not giving you immediate gratification with your shots going in? And so, because I would disagree that the Tar Heels don't have a plan, but I do think that they have gotten frustrated after this long stretch of offensive struggles that then things don't look as cohesive on the floor. I totally agree with that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's because of a lack of a plan or that they're just rolling the ball out there and saying, go and figure it out. But I do think they've struggled to keep that cohesiveness if the shots aren't going in for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't trying to assert that there is no plan. I'm just saying that's what it looks like sometimes. And,
sure. Well, and I do think Carolina over dribbles, and Hubert Davis talked about that. On Monday. Their guards, R.J. Davis and Caleb Love, are scoring guards, and I think I do think on the perimeter Carolina over dribbles some when things don't happen easily. I do think the fact that, and this is not. This is not something negative about those two guys, but neither one of them is a pure point guard. And I think that's hurt Carolina some. I think not having a guy whose first thought is, how do we get a great shot, I think has hurt them. At times when it starts to look like it's really hard work for them offensively to get good looks. So I think all of that has aided into some of these struggles for the Tar Heels offensively. Yeah. And, it's crazy to think about, Tank. This is a team that earlier in the year, they up until the month of February, they were leading the league in points per game. They've scored over 100 points 3 times this season. The offense, while not easy, was there. But these last 3-4 weeks, obviously it has turned the other way.
Right. Last 7 games, the Tar Heels are 2-7. Still don't have a quad 1 win on the season. 0-9 in quad 1 opportunities. I had to make the comment earlier this week when Joe Lunardi's latest bracketology came out that I didn't think I'd ever be looking at a bracket that had UNC Asheville in it and did not have the North Carolina Tar Heels. And again, congratulations to the UNC Asheville Bulldogs for winning the Big South regular season, and they'll have a chance to punch a ticket into the Big Dance to win the conference by winning the conference tournament. But it's starting to look like that's the only way we might see the Tar Heels clinch a spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've played themselves into this position where they have no room for error. And it really hurt them, and some of it goes together, that Carolina hit its worst stretch of the season while it was playing the best teams. Now, some of that goes together, of course, because they're playing better teams. But last night's a good example, Tank. Like, if Carolina, outside of maybe Louisville, if Carolina has that first half against anybody else in the conference, they don't win that game. I don't think, because you saw something similar against Wake Forest, where they had the second game against the Deacs, where they had just a miserable first half. And even though they played great in the second half, Wake Forest was good enough to keep them at arm's length and win the game. Notre Dame just wasn't. And so part of it is Carolina really hit its negative streak when it was playing good enough teams that they could consistently take advantage of it. Now, I do think the Tar Heels have 2 good opportunities in front of them with Virginia and Duke still coming in the regular season in Chapel Hill for winnable games, because I don't think there's, even with the way Carolina's been playing, I don't think there's a ton of separation between Carolina, Virginia, and Carolina and Duke, just as far as what's going to be on the court. And those games are at home, where Carolina's been better for sure. And so those are opportunities for quality wins. Now, even if Carolina wins its last 3 games here of the regular season, do they still probably need to win a game or 2 in the tournament to feel good? Yes, I would think so. And so, but they don't have anybody to blame for that but themselves. And so for the Tar Heels, there's no more messing around. It's now or never, and And their next opportunity comes up on Saturday.
And it's getting later and later to flip the switch, as I like to say.
The switch, there ain't no switch to flip, Tank.
Right.
There's no switch to flip. I mean, this is who we have enough evidence. This is who the Tar Heels are. And so there's no more they're going to turn it on. What would you consider flipping the switch? Clemson? Well, I think we've learned that that's the aberration with this group.
Mm-hmm.
Making 15 3-pointers, that's not who they are. And so the only flip there is to switch, or switch there is to flip, excuse me.
I'm so glad you did that, because I do that all the time.
Yeah, the only switch there is to flip is what we talked about earlier. And that's realizing that the way you are going to win is not by reining in a bunch of jump shots. There might be a game, and there might still be a game or two in front of Carolina where that happens. But the way that the Tar Heels are going to win is not that way. The way they're going to win is by playing better defense. And I don't think Carolina's defense has been terrible this season. It hasn't been great, but it hasn't been terrible. It's by rebounding. It's by getting to the line. It's all those things we talked about earlier, sharing the basketball. That's how they're going to win, not by reining in a bunch of threes.
I would have to agree with that, but it seems like that's I don't know. I don't know if it's just the modern style of basketball. They see it happen on the NBA stage where guys are just raining threes so much, and the analytics tell you that that's the best play rather than driving inside or what. There's just so much that goes on with today's game that's just kind of the way younger players look at it, I think.
Right. No, Tank, the answer is there's no room. There's no room to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you have to do, should R.J. Davis drive to the basket every time if he's 0 for 5 from three-point range? Of course. But here's the problem. There's 3 dudes in front of him. And so there's no room to do it. And so for Carolina, that's why I keep saying you've got to find other ways to score, because Leaky Black's not going to become a 45% three-point shooter. Pete Nance isn't going to become a 40% three-point shooter. Puff Johnson's not going to become a 45% three-point shooter. All those guys are capable of hitting 1 or 2, but the other teams are willing to say, if Pete Nance goes 4 of 6 from 3, tip your cap to them, they're going to beat us.
Absolutely.
But the body of work shows that that's not going to happen on a night-in, night-out basis. And so it's not that Carolina's, taking horrible shots. Now, are they taking too many threes? I think so. But Tank, quite honestly, they're open. They're open shots. I don't think you're going, oh man, boy, why did he shoot that with 2 guys in his face and with 15 seconds on the shot clock? There might be some of those, but I think a lot of the threes Carolina takes are open, but that's because the other team wants them to be open.
Right.
So the question becomes, how do you still get quality looks when that is the case? And that is everything we talked about earlier. Plus, I do think off-the-ball movement, off-the-ball screens can help you as well. But I think we've also, at this point, I don't know how many games. Carolina's played 28 games. At this point, I'm not sure the Tar Heels are going to suddenly become a team that does that all the time.
Well, the last chance at a regular season quad 1 win coming up this weekend. Number 6, Virginia in Chapel Hill. It'll be a 6 o'clock start. You'll hear it right here on ESPN Asheville, and you got to be locked in. If there is a switch to flip, as we say, then you need to find it because, as Armando Bacot said after the game last night, the season rides on every minute. You can't just be looking at every game. You have to go minute by minute. And when you find yourself down like the Heels were after last night, scoring just 19 points in the first half or 17 points in the first half, there's no secret or there's no surprise as to there were some big boy words that were said in that locker room.
Well, and I agree with Armando, it's then up to the Tar Heels to play that way and not start playing that way after they get yelled at in the locker room.
Right.
It's to play that way from the start and to play with the urgency of the fact that you are, in basketball terms, in a dire situation. And so, that's up to the Tar Heels to start doing out on the floor.
Yeah, we'll hope we can see more of that urgency this weekend against Virginia. Then you got Florida State and Duke after that, and then ACC tournament. And right now the Tar Heels are the 7 seed in the tournament, and it's going to take several wins in the tournament, I feel like, to make a case for them to make this tournament. I mean, it's considering that they not run the table on these last 3 games. You may have to win it outright to be able to get into the tournament, but we will wait and see. And we'll catch up with you next week, Jones, right here on ESPN Asheville on Thursday at 4.
Sounds good, Tank. Talk to you soon.
Indeed. You are in the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slowing 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side, slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 due to construction. On the Smoky Park Highway northbound, light delays approaching Sand Hill Road. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road is slow. Avery Creek area, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
No one has the same taste as you.
You damn right.
From the music you love to the podcasts you can't live without. And only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
The new Crispy Melt Taco is now at Taco Bell. Some facts about it are, 1, its shell is freshly fried daily. 2, it has a melty cheesy blend inside. And 3, it comes with seasoned beef or black beans. And totally feel free to drop those Crispy Melt Taco facts whenever you want, too. Like maybe save them for when a friend's like, what should we eat? And you say, Crispy Melt Tacos. And they're like, nah. And then you need to make an airtight case for why they're wrong.
The new Crispy Melt Taco. Try one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation which vary.
The Ingles 2023 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 4th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Peck Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Hey, if you're not busy next week, there might be something in town that you'll want to check out. Next Friday begins the men's tournament of the 2023 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships at the Harrah's Cherokee Center, Asheville. The SoCon teams compete for the championship and that automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Discount tickets are available today to the 2023 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships at your local neighborhood Ingles markets. You can get tickets at the stores until March the 1st. So get your discounted tickets today, and for more information on the tournament, go to SoConHoops.com. Now, Jeremy and I will be live from there on Monday, Championship Monday of the SoCon tournament. We'll be doing the show from there live. We'll who knows what will be in store. We might actually get an interview with the kangaroo from VMI this year, rather than Jeremy just taking his picture with him.
I do like that kangaroo.
Hopefully he's nicer than the Cookie Monster that was highlighted in our weird news yesterday. Speaking of, it is time to get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Since California gave us something to talk about yesterday, let's go back to the well here and go to California once again, because something happened this week that it's not that it's never happened. It's just one of these super rare things that you could have been working in the business for all these years and never have seen this come about. There was a blizzard warning in L.A. this week. Did you know that?
I did not.
Massive snowstorm.
See, for me, California is like a completely different country. For me, they do stuff out there. They wear flip-flops with suits, and I don't care.
Right. Massive snowstorm sweeping across much of the western part of the United States. And just east of Los Angeles, there was a blizzard warning issued, to which a local meteorologist from KCAL, meteorologist Evelyn Taft, said she's been in California's weather industry for nearly 14 years. Said it's unbelievable. I've never seen this before. Never thought that I would come to California and have to cover a blizzard warning. Up to 5 feet of snow was forecast to fall in the mountains of California. Wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. The lower foothills like Santa Clarita was just to see a rare dusting of snow. You would think having the meteorologist job in L.A. would be one of the easiest things on the planet. It's going to be pretty hot today. Going to be some clouds, lots of smog. On to the next. It's your forecast every day.
3 or 4 protests, people angry about things that don't make a whole lot of sense.
Lots of jokes being made by news anchors and meteorologists all across the L.A. market this week with the snow. One of the anchors for KCAL was on the air and saying that she had moved to L.A. several years ago, and she had to go out and find gloves because it got so cold. He just doesn't think that that's usually the thing that you're going to need in Southern California.
Or common sense. I could keep doing this. You keep lobbing them at me, I will keep hitting them.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that happen in California, one of the dumbest things we do on a yearly basis is coming just weeks from now. The Oscars. And
Yay.
they have hired a crisis management team. Just in case.
But for why?
Just in case we have Will Smith Part 2.
Just in case somebody smacks somebody.
And they also have brought in Jimmy Kimmel to be the host. And I quote, because they feel like he would be best equipped to handle it if it happened.
What, is he a trained fighter or something?
I can think of no less than 40 people that would be better than that. Jason Statham, let's go.
That's a good one.
Me, let's go. You want to slap somebody? Come on down.
The Rock.
Rock's doing other stuff. He's got, his cute little football league, and he's doing stuff. stuff.
You don't think if the
John
Oscars called
Cena.
and said, "Hey, Dwayne, we really want you to host the Oscars this year," he'd go, "Nah, I'm busy."
I mean, I would. Tens and tens of people, I'm sure, will watch this.
No, inside those circles, that's still a big deal. It's not a big deal to us, the American public, because nobody watches it.
No.
I mean, what? 100?
You know why nobody watches it? Okay, all right. I'm going to go on a little tangent of something that I'm not necessarily qualified to go on a tangent about. You don't nominate the best movies.
No.
That's the problem. You nominate all these artsy-fartsy movies that nobody's seen. There are, in the effort of fairness,
okay,
there are 10 movies that are nominated for Best Picture.
Oh my,
10.
Didn't it used to be like 4?
Yes, usually it was 5.
Okay, 5. Whatever.
All right, so we've doubled it because in California everything has to be fair.
Everybody thinks
everything has to be fair in California. I'll give you $1 for every movie you can name.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Oh, there's 2 you could totally name. There's the 2 most popular movies of the year.
I mean, Top Gun,
which has no shot.
It absolutely has to win.
It won't even come close. It'll finish 10th out of the 10. Frankly, I think they only put it on the list for people like us to go, hey, they nominated Top Gun.
I mean, that was the best picture of the year. Avatar.
That's the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the others. All Quiet on the Western Front. No, I thought that was made like 40 years ago.
No, they made a new one.
Oh, great! That's what we need.
And
keep remaking things.
And
it goes so well.
And it's all in German. Yeah, read the subtitles. That's one that I tried because I liked the book when I was in high school. We had to read the book.
I passed the test. I couldn't tell you anything about the book.
I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. I got 6 minutes into it and went, no, I'm done.
Actually, you know what I'm going to say? That one just because it's like the funniest name of a movie I've ever seen in my life. Elvis.
Yeah, that was a great one.
I'm going to say that one too because that one's pretty ridiculous as well. The Fabelmans.
I have no idea what that is.
Tar.
Nope.
Women Talking. Triangle of Sadness. And then my 2 favorite.
Like the UNC basketball team?
Oh. Jones Angel is going to come in here and smack you like a...
He did seem to get a little defensive.
Oh, yeah. One of these days, we're going to be in the same room with Jones, and I think he's going to have some pent-up frustration with some of those questions you asked. I swear to you, these 2 are actual names of movies. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
It's Jeremy's bachelor party.
Good for you. I had a joke lined up. Yours was better, so I'll pass it. And then... The Banshees of Inisherin.
Of Ed Sheeran?
Inisherin.
Oh.
Or Inisherin.
Oh, yeah, that's that new Colin Farrell movie.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just, okay, you want to know why nobody watches it? Because you go, oh, this is the best movie of the year, and 8 people watched it at some film festival.
So The Whale didn't get nominated? Nope. Really?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's the new Brendan Fraser movie that everybody's going crazy about.
Is that the one where he's like,
So we did PhD weight loss. He did PhD weight gain.
Yeah, he did butter. What's your diet, Brandon? Butter. All of it.
Butter and all of the spicy ranch.
Yeah, based off the picture I saw him, I think his cholesterol is the same as our zip code. 28806.
Indeed. I thought it was a fat suit at first.
Yeah, no.
And I went, oh no, that's really Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's aging like milk.
I mean,
like milk that you left outside in, I don't know, July.
I mean, I appreciate a guy who's who can come forth with the ultimate performance, in his career, like I don't know. You went from Encino Man to winning an Oscar. Like, this is weird.
So I'm just looking forward to next year when I already know one of the nominees for Best Picture next year.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Can't wait for Best Picture, Cocaine Bear. Let's go.
The posthumous Oscar goes to Ray Liotta for Cocaine Bear.
Did he ever win an Oscar?
No.
Wouldn't it be just... Wouldn't it be
I
incredible?
think he was probably nominated.
If Ray
for...
Liotta, he's in all these great movies, and he gets a posthumous Oscar for Cocaine Bear.
I think he might have been nominated for Goodfellas, but I can't imagine.
Have you seen the teasers for that now, where they've put a ticket? They've superimposed a ticket on the block of cocaine that the bear eats.
No.
Let's go get your tickets for Cocaine Bear. And the more I see it, the more I'm like, oh, you're being for serious. Like, this isn't Sharknado where you're making fun of yourself. No. You actually think this is just a piece of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for Cocaine Shark.
Cocaine Shark.
I know it's coming.
It's not, though. We're not doing that.
Cocaine. Oh, it's absolutely. Elizabeth Banks has already said she's doing it.
Really?
Uh-huh. Oh, it's happening. Oh, it's happening.
Why does that not surprise me? Hey, at least it'll be a funny movie. Judd Apatow will be involved, and that's gonna be fun.
Before we go into a break, if you're looking for something to do tonight at the Gray Eagle right here in Asheville, Midnight North. I met these guys the other night. They are, first of all, they made my Tuesday less than ideal because I don't tend to go hard in the paint on a school night, and that's why.
I mean, unless there's a good excuse, like Lent.
It's Tuesday.
Or
like, did you say like Lent?
Lent, yeah.
I don't even know what Lent is.
It's that 40-day period that you're supposed to give up the bad living.
Yeah,
that's actually why my dad told me the other day. He heard me say, "Why do we do the pancake thing on Fat Tuesday?" It's called Fat Tuesday because you eat all of the fattening things on Tuesday because you're supposed to give up all the sweets and stuff for Lent.
Oh yeah, give up avocado every year for Lent. It's really a big layout for me.
Give up avocado and water and exercise. I give up all those things for Lent.
The guys from Midnight North, they're doing a show at the Gray Eagle. These guys are from all over the country. They're huge sports fans. They were in a bar with me, and somehow they found out who I was, and they became very intrigued by talking to the ESPN guy about all their different pro sports teams and things like that. Then I heard their music. This is definitely worth the price of admission. Doors open at 7 tonight. Show starts at 8. Midnight North. If you get a chance to talk to him, tell him the formerly fat guy from the Sportsocracy on ESPN Radio sent you.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville, and we'll get into the free agent class of wide receivers this offseason. Who ranks number one, who's worth the time and money, and who may not even be worth your time.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers cruise in from the southwest. This is a little cold front trying its best to push our way and drop the numbers for Friday and the weekend. It's been a very warm day today. Light showers tonight, 50 degrees. Friday, cloudy, high 60, low 45. Some quarter-inch rains Friday night into Saturday morning. Showers on Saturday, cooler, high 54 degrees. We return to the upper 60s, though, by Monday next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In Haywood County, 40 westbound is stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 due to construction. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road, traffic is very busy. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Hiring can be a headache. That's why there's Indeed, the hiring platform that removes the hassle. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. And you can schedule and conduct video interviews right on their site. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
All the radio stations you love, every playlist to match your mood, the podcasts that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, we've got a super chat on the YouTube channel.
I'm your Huckleberry.
And it comes from Soaring Eagle 175. He says, I'd take Cocaine Bear over Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Blood and honey.
It's the dumbest idea. If you haven't seen this yet, there is a horror film based on Winnie the Pooh that is coming out.
It's out.
It's out right now?
Yeah, it's in theaters right now.
It and Cocaine Bear at the same time.
We will have Cocaine Bear and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Ugh.
That sounds like just a tremendous. You want to know why Jeremy doesn't watch movies? Found it.
What? Because bad movies exist?
Most are bad.
No.
I would say 99.9% of movies are bad.
Well, I mean, you might be right. You might be right because there are a lot of god-awful movies. Like, have you just scrolled through the A to Z on your Netflix or whatever streaming service you have lately? I mean, there are just gobs and gobs of awful movies that you go, first, who would watch that? And second, why would you take that job? It's not doing anything for you. Like, I'm a struggling actor, and I got the lead part in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Oh, who cares?
That's one step above. I just started an OnlyFans.
You probably have more success with the OnlyFans.
Depending on who you are. You, not so much.
Well, no.
Many others, maybe. Me, very niche market.
Yeah, no.
Very niche.
Yeah.
It's out there.
It's out there.
But it's a very niche market.
Yeah, well, okay. You've done your research on this, I guess.
What are you, a cop? Always got to have a soft place to land. This whole sports talk thing doesn't work out. Got to have a next step.
Indeed. All right. Let's get into the wide receiver class in free agency. Look, we don't need a whole lot of time to talk about this because, frankly, the free agent class of wide receivers is not very deep. We talked about running backs yesterday and how, there's 14 running backs that are available that could be impact/decent role players on the team. I don't feel like the wide receiver core goes that deep. Not even near that deep.
No. If you get to 5, you are really playing loosey-goosey with impact.
The number one player in this class.
Jakobi Meyers, not close.
Really?
Jakobi Meyers, not close. And he's going to get way more money than you think. Way more money than you think. I won't be shocked if it's from one of those two teams we talk about every time the free agent thing comes up. Chicago Bears, Atlanta Falcons. Won't shock me in the least.
No. He's not my one, but he is my 2. My one's Juju Smith-Schuster.
He's just a slot guy. The thing about Juju, it's a reason he's been on a one-year deal over and over and over and over again. If I need a slot, I'll draft one because there's about 30 of them in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying you. I mean, I won't be shocked if Juju gets another $6 million deal.
Yeah.
Some low-level little one-year deal.
Incentive-laden deal. It worked out for him in Kansas City. I mean, heck, he signed for $3.5 million base salary this year. And by the end of the season, with all of his catches and winning the Super Bowl with his team, he ended up making $9.5 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you could get Jakobi Meyers to sign that kind of a deal, then maybe I'd be in the market.
Oh, you're not going to.
But that's why Jakobi Myers he's not at the top of my list because I know I'm going to have to overpay him.
Jakobi Meyers will get 5 for 75. You mark my words.
That's gross. So gross.
So what is your aversion to Jakobi Meyers?
He's fine. I'm just not paying him big-time money.
He's being thrown to by me.
I mean,
But Mac Jones made it to the playoffs. So did Tim Tebow, cutie pie. You want to play that game? I can play with you all day long.
Right. But is Jakobi Meyers the type of player that you feel like if you hooked him up with Kirk Cousins or an Aaron Rodgers or a Derek Carr or, a bigger quarterback name like that, who's much more talented, obviously, that he could be a all-pro level player?
I think in the right scenario, he could be a top 15 receiver in this league.
Huh. Okay.
The Christian Kirk thing last year he was phenomenal. Now, to me, Christian Kirk's a better wide receiver. My fear is that what happens if a bidding war starts and if you're looking for a receiver, it's end of message, repeat the line. One of you gets him, everyone else just, you're taking a flyer on DJ Chark or Mecole Hardman.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Jakobi Meyers is going to get a lot of money. I think he should. I think he will be a 1,000-yard receiver in this league. Still only 26 years old.
Now this is where I'm interested. We both agree that the top two wide receivers are Jakobi Meyers and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Mm-hmm.
From there's a lot of risk. Who's your three?
Darius Slayton.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think the Giants would be foolish to let him walk out the door. Now, I know he doesn't fit that system the way that they want him to. He's a good receiver. He's another one of those that I see going to a smart – like Kansas City signs him. Wouldn't shock me at all. One of these teams that have a really good quarterback, and he comes in as your 3, and then somehow, some way, about week 12 of next year, we're talking about, man, how did we not see Darius Slayton as a top 30 guy in the league? Top 36 guy in the league, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it drops off a cliff. I like DJ Chark. He's my 4.
Mm-hmm.
I am in like with him. There is no love. It's a lot of like. He's got all the raw talent in the world. I've never seen it consistently. His high side is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
His low side is sitting on the sideline in a pair of sweatpants, which he does a lot.
True, but I don't know. He's one of those guys that popped onto the scene and then disappeared.
Because he does one thing really well. He's a nice over-the-top threat. He's a nice deep threat. If you don't expect him to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
If you think he's going to go over the middle, have you ever heard the term alligator arms? Because he has quite possibly the worst case of it that I have ever seen. And that's just, if you know what you're getting with him, you'll be fine. But that's not worth more than, I don't know, $8 million a year, 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably where he ends up again.
I could see that.
And then from there, it gets super gross.
Really?
You think I'm forgetting one?
I'm just interested to see where you go from here.
Well, Alan Lazard would be next.
Okay.
And then it's, oh, boy.
See, I don't feel like Alan Lazard is a drastic drop-off from DJ Chark. I mean, he's a possession receiver. He does a different thing. I get it. But, I mean, he's still in the ballpark.
I have a funny feeling wherever Aaron Rodgers plays is where Alan Lazard will play.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure he would be that good with anybody else.
Okay. There are 2 names you haven't mentioned yet. And how you rolling the dice? Odell Beckham Jr.
I don't care.
And Michael Thomas.
And Michael Thomas is not a free agent. he would have to be cut, which, I mean, I'm not saying that's not.
Isn't he going to be, though?
Michael Thomas is the one I would roll the dice on.
Mm-hmm.
On a low price of just $4.5 million.
I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. Give him the shot and.
Well, I mean, on the high side, if you hit there, then you've really done something.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
My problem with Odell Beckham Jr. is it's always been more flash than it is anything else, and he's always needed somebody else. Since the knee injury started happening and he lost the step, him as the guy is not particularly good.
No.
So, I mean, I keep hearing him going to Dallas. I would rather draft one. I would literally rather draft Zay Flowers or somebody that can do what I need you to do than try to put Michael Gallup on the outside. It's just I doesn't do much for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to do it. Probably another 1-year deal, and it's going to be a stupid number.
Yeah.
$12 million, something ridiculous like that.
That'll hurt. That'll hurt because I don't know that he can ever live up to it. He's still a good talent. I still think there's great football left in him.
Do you?
I think there is. I mean, I felt like we saw windows of it in the Super Bowl year with the Rams. Late in the season, he came on, and I get it.
In the most prodigious offense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They're still with Cooper, and he's basically the 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
there's still a window for that, but I want to pay him that way.
And he's not
pay
going
him
to take
like
that.
a superstar.
So that's what happened last year, was that he didn't want team doctors poking around, and then it was, well, I'm not as close as I want to be. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it all came back to money.
Mm-hmm.
Because what he doesn't understand, what Odell Beckham Jr. cannot wrap his head around is at this point he is that 1-year mercenary receiver just like Juju Smith-Schuster is.
Yeah.
I can go chase rings somewhere, but I'm not the guy for anybody. And my palate for diva receivers expired long ago. Because over the last, I will say 5 years, we've probably had 50 receivers a year that I looked at and went, you could be a top 3 receiver on a team in the NFL. And there's just so many of them that I'm good. I give me Darius Slayton.
Mm-hmm.
He's like you were talking about earlier with Vance Joseph. I couldn't even tell you what his voice sounds like. I don't know, and I don't care. He has some injury issues. I get it. I'll take the risk there. Because Odell Beckham Jr. has the exact same amount. He talks way more, and I don't know that he actually gives you anything more.
Mm-hmm. There was a young guy this year that kind of popped onto the scene. We hadn't talked about his name in the past as a legitimate receiver in this league, and then I felt like his play kind of elevated him to a point. I'm not saying he's in a top 5, top 10 of your free agency class, but Greg Dortch. I mean, he's going to catch on somewhere, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was a guy that was in camp with the Jets long ago. I always said he had a role in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. Right now, I could argue that being a slot receiver, a regular slot receiver in the NFL, you have career longevity that is second to only like a running back. There's just so many.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'll give you an example. David Bell, the kid out of Purdue that went to Cleveland last year.
Yep.
How many slot receivers in this draft did I grade above him? From the grade I gave him last year to this year.
8.
11.
Okay.
And I think he's a talented player. You just don't do anything specifically well. And Greg Dortch is one of those guys that you do something well, but you're 5'9", which, yes, I like some of your ability, and he's completely fearless. But look at him against somebody like, even off his own team, Rondale Moore, who's more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Rondale Moore, and he can barely put up stats, and there's manufacturing touches for him.
Right.
So yeah, he'll get a deal somewhere, probably in the, I would say $3 to $3-ish million range.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing that ever happened to slot receivers was Braxton Berrios. The Jets paid him like a legit target, and he was awful.
One guy I did leave out was Robert Woods. I hadn't let that register yet that he got released by the Tennessee Titans. So I feel like he needs to be mentioned in this. He'll get a deal,
no doubt. But Robert Woods is going to run into a problem with Corey Davis. If you want Robert Woods, you might as well sign Corey Davis because he's better at everything than Robert Woods. He just can't stay healthy, and he's younger. He's going to get cut by the Jets. They're not going to pay him that amount to be. He's a better blocker, which is one of the high sides with Robert Woods is how good he is. I'm not saying he doesn't have a role, but I would say he's one of those. He waits into the second wave to see who doesn't get the receiver they want, and then he's that outside blocking receiver that throws up 600, 700, 800 yards.
You are in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville Sports Center update coming up next, and then third hour of the program on the way.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 due to construction. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound slowing between the Royal Pines area and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound from the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road is slow. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound at Edgewood Road, traffic is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, select chairs are up to 50% off, like the Union & Scale Essentials Mesh Back Task Chair, now just $89.99 at Staples. In-store only, offer ends $225 while supplies last. Staples, the working and learning and saving store.
You don't ride an elevator for the music, and you don't pick an airline for the movies. So when it comes to audio entertainment, it makes sense to choose Audible. It's the home for stories told by the biggest stars, like John Hamm, Kerry Washington, and Kevin Hart. It's home to epic adventures, chilling mysteries, and can't-miss comedies. Audible is the home of storytelling. Let your imagination soar with audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Start a free trial at audible.com.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
Hey, it's Brian from the Sports Freaks, inviting you to join us live on location Monday night at Bear's Smokehouse on Cox Avenue in downtown Asheville. It's a Big South Tournament preview show with the head coaches of the Bulldogs, Mike Morrell and Honey Brown. We'll have some cool giveaways and awesome food as well. Come on out and join us Monday, 6 to 8, Bear's Smokehouse, downtown Asheville.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers cruise in from the southwest. This is a little cold front trying its best to push our way and drop the numbers for Friday and the weekend. It's been a very warm day today. Light showers tonight, 50 degrees. Friday, cloudy, high 60, low 45. Some quarter-inch rains Friday night into Saturday morning. Showers on Saturday, cooler, high 54 degrees. We return to the upper 60s, though, by Monday next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by KFC. Kentucky Fried Chicken wraps are here. Crispy, crunchy, and wrapped in a warm tortilla. Grab 2 for just $5. Available in classic or spicy slaw. Only at KFC. That's finger-licking good.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
When it comes to your tax refund, think biggest. As in, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund or your money back, plus $100. Get to Jackson Hewitt for your biggest refund, guaranteed.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After 4 days in an Oregon darkness retreat, the question now for Aaron Rodgers is, when will he shed some light on his future plans? Will he play for the Packers again for almost $60 million this year? Will he be traded, or will he just retire? New Washington Commanders assistant head coach and offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy held his first news conference today. Bieniemy reflected on his 10 years with the Chiefs and the last 10 days getting to celebrate another Super Bowl win.
Having that opportunity just to say goodbye to the players, spending that time throughout the parade of just feeling the emotions from the fans. And so I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and this is why I'm here.
Eric Bieniemy, who says he's now focused on his new job and not on getting a head coaching job. Michigan running back Blake Corum will miss spring practice as he recovers from knee surgery. Coach Jim Harbaugh says Corum will be back at full strength by June.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And it is time for the final hour of the program here on a Thursday in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. You want to see us in the Ingles Studio? Don't forget, you can go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/thesportsocracy, or go to thesportsocracy.com. Just click the link in the middle of the page. Once you get through, subscribe to the channel. That way you can get into the chat with us each and every day, and you can get those alerts whenever we are live or when there's new content coming out, like, I don't know, team-by-team 3-round mock drafts.
Oh, yeah, those are you'll see a lot of those.
Those are coming. We're going to continue all of the Draft Miss coverage on the YouTube channel, so be sure, like I said, to subscribe. And, of course, you could take the show with you everywhere you go with the iHeart Radio app. Third hour of the program, no daily draft today. We're just going to push right through here.
We had too many topics today.
Right, as we continue with our coverage of the free agency period in this 2023 offseason. Wide receivers, not the banger of a set of free agents.
No, if you need a receiver, you should probably be looking to the draft because there's a lot of those. I've got Josh Downs in the third round at this point. That should tell you everything you need to know.
And really, neither is edge rusher.
No, I'm not so sure I agree with that.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay.
And there's one to me that is above all else, and his name is Marcus Davenport. If you just look at this year, okay, I get why you're not overly intrigued. He's a good pass rusher, and he's 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't say – there are two ways it can go with him. One of them absolutely terrifies me, and I don't think it's what's going to happen, is one of these desperate teams, Chicago Bears, throws $16 million a year to him. I don't think that's happening.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't think it's happening. I think it's more likely that you see 3 for 30 with some incentives. And that would allow you possibly him going back to New Orleans, which I don't think is going to happen. But then it gets into the good teams. The Cincinnati Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, who love adding players like this. I'm not saying it's a need. He's a luxury player. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But there's good football in him. He appeared, when I watched New Orleans this past year, Marcus Davenport looked like he didn't believe in what was happening around him. Now, is that a character flaw?
Maybe.
Yes. It is. That motor dwindles when things are not going well. But would it shock me if he went to one of these high-level franchises that's really competing for Super Bowls and became a 10-sack guy? Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me in the least.
Well, he's never done that before, so it would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see. Like, I agree with you. I mean, the fact that he's 26 years old and he is, one of the youngest guys that's available in free agency, I get it. I've also heard, there's some discussion about should New Orleans franchise tag him. Well, a team with us in cap hell, as we continue to say, it's probably not going to happen. He is far and away the number one edge rusher available.
I would agree. He's got the highest high side. Now, his low side is very low. And it could be one of those deals that looks less than ideal 2 years from now. But especially in this free agent class, because this class is not good. There's a reason that you don't see teams making outrageous moves to get under the cap, because there's not many free agents out there to chase. The trade market will be aggressive. You'll see a lot of high-end talents. DeAndre Hopkins is one that I've heard a lot. There have been others. You're not necessarily going to see high-level free agent movement. What that usually means is the old NBA rule. The money's out there to be spent. It's going to be spent.
Absolutely.
So the question is, who's it go to? And that's where a guy like Marcus Davenport scares me.
Marcus Davenport's the number one. Who's your number two?
This is, for me, it's like I said, a beauty's in the eye of the beholder. This is the guy I've seen be the best. But he's moved around a lot. It's Yannick Ngakoue. In the right scenario, I still think he can be what he was years ago.
Okay.
It does bother me that he's moved around so many times. Between the Raiders and the Colts and the Ravens and the Vikings. And now you realize Ngakoue, I think, is 29 years old. He may be older than that. This will
27.
Be his. He's 27 years old.
27 years old.
This will be his sixth team.
He's getting ready to turn 28 sometime before the season or at the start of the season. So, but yeah, I mean, he's relatively young. He's just well-traveled. And
there's usually a reason for that.
And I was going to say, I don't know if that's a personality issue, if that's a, rejects coaching kind of an issue, or if it's just, it's what made sense at the time for these teams. I mean, he was a superstar in Jacksonville.
He was really good in Indianapolis last year. Nobody talked about him because that team was awful.
Right. But he goes to Minnesota, and they sucked on defense with Mike Zimmer. And then he goes to Baltimore, and he was a good piece there, and that got him the contract with the Las Vegas Raiders. And then the Raiders went, oh, well, let's just make a trade here. And that's when they brought in Rock Ya-Sin. So, I mean, I get that he's well-traveled over the last few years, but I don't know that that's anything specific to him. It's just, I mean, obviously he's a dispendable piece.
Let me give you a dirty little secret of the NFL. There is no 27-year-old that's that good, that's been on that many teams, and there's not a reason why. Now, what is that reason? I do not know. Because if you look at him statistically, he's been one of the 10 best pass rushers in the NFL over the last 6-7 years. This will be his sixth team. Name me any other pass rusher that's even in his stratosphere. Jadeveon Clowney, who also free agent, and is a massive headache from everything I've ever been told. He's on 2.
Mm-hmm.
In that same time frame. He started with the Texans, but then they blew that roster up.
Right.
Should kind of tell you everything you need to know. He needs to find somewhere and actually integrate himself into the defense. Now, I think his high side is actually probably higher than Marcus Davenport, and his floor is probably safer.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say his range of outcomes is probably not as – I've seen a lot of comments in the chat from, I'm going to assume from Saints fans, Marcus Davenport got a little doughy last year. Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of reports as to why that could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he strikes me as, you said earlier, needs a change of scenery. Yeah. Marcus Davenport needs a change of scenery.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure Yannick Ngakoue does. Indianapolis might be the best place for him to land. Because they're going to be better defensively next year than they were this year. Just by getting Shaq Leonard back and healthy.
Okay, after Yannick Ngakoue.
That's where it gets into it's a lot of older guys.
Yeah, you got the mercenaries. You got the whole mercenary group.
Melvin Ingram, Justin Houston, potentially Brandon Graham.
I would put Brandon Graham in there. I would put Robert Quinn in there. I would put Jadeveon Clowney in there. Like, all of these guys are.
Can we stop talking about Jadeveon Clowney as a pass rusher? That is the dumbest thing that I hear on a yearly basis. It has never bored itself out, ever. He is good against the run.
Mm-hmm.
He is way more Derek Barnett than he is any of the guys we have said.
Sure. But the thing that I've always contended with Jadeveon is that he's more of a disruptor than a stat accumulator. He does get into the backfield. He just doesn't get home.
His pass rush win rate's not particularly good. Never has been.
Mm-hmm.
He benefited from being on the opposite side of J.J. Watt. Other than that, he has largely just been a dispensable piece.
Mm-hmm. But he'll get paid.
I don't think he will. What, another one-year deal? He's in that same boat we were talking about with receivers. He'll get a one-year deal for a number that will shock you how low it is. He'll seek $10 million. He'll get $6 million.
Okay.
Because, frankly, I actually have another guy ahead of all of the names you just said.
Who's that?
Charles Omenihu. I like him a lot. And I might be getting Lucy footballed here because he was on such a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
He was productive to me. Now, that might be because you're getting Bosa on the other side. I get it.
Right.
There are risks here. I can't stop putting him with the Houston Texans. He knows the system. D'Amico's there. It makes all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They need anybody that can get after a quarterback.
But is he a, I don't know, 60, 70% snap guy, or is he just the situational pass rusher? Which that's fine.
He can be. I think he can be the full-time starter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he can. There's a lot of projection that goes into that. And I'll tell you, just as a fan and someone that covers a team that hired a San Francisco coach, you will see a lot of players that don't work anywhere else work in that system.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm telling you there's going to be an exodus of Jets and 49ers that go to Houston because they want to play with D'Amico.
Yeah.
Not so much from the Jets, more from San Francisco. But there are a couple guys that I could see wanting to stay in that system, but they don't have a role in New York anymore.
So why – is there any reason, I guess is how I should phrase this, any reason that you mention Charles before Samson Abokum, who actually started over him?
Yeah. And a minute who in virtually every analytical stat was more productive. Now, that could be because you're being put in better situations. That's where the analytics come in. I like Abokum. I always have. I just don't know that he's ever going to be more than what he is. I didn't have him in the top 10, just if I'm being really honest. No,
okay.
he was the first one out.
Okay.
I had all of your guys. The three I've already said, Arden Key. You rolled your eyes at Arden Key earlier, and I went, he was good for Jacksonville this year.
And again, it's a situational pass rusher type of a thing. Like, I'm not, when I roll my eyes about these guys, like whether it be Juju Smith-Schuster or whoever, like, I'm not saying that you're a bad player. I'm just saying
it just doesn't light your fire.
Right, it's a free agency period, and I want something sexy and something spicy, and we just don't have it. Like, outside of the running back class and a couple of the quarterbacks, maybe there's a corner or two.
Now, I will say, you get to hit your button because we have breaking news.
Ooh.
And you're going to see a lot of this, I think, over the next 2 to 3 weeks that makes free agency more interesting.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
The dance is the worst. If you only listen to that dance, it haunts my nightmares. Soaring Eagle actually super chatted this, so we'll give him the credit because we forgot to hit the button. We saw it before the break. Breaking news per Adam Schefter, the Rams and Bobby Wagner are mutually agreeing to part ways. It's a bad sign for the Rams. They did not have a lot of – they have good high-level talent, but Bobby Wagner was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they need money under the cap, and I get all the reasons that you do it. But he will be very attractive to a lot of teams.
And the question becomes, with L.A., how much thinner are you going to get?
They're a struggle for me.
Right. Like we've been saying so far this offseason, like we're not going to be surprised if L.A. just turns around and, goes right back to their 2022 or 2021 form. How are you going to do that?
I mean, it's tough when you start losing high-level talent like this. Eric Miller in the YouTube chat said, come back home, Bobby. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can tell you what's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not
that
happening.
bridge was set ablaze.
There's been rumors over the last few days that Jalen Ramsey may be on the market. There may be somebody trying to trade for him.
There has been talk that they have been willing to entertain moving him. And if they do, that's
it's game over.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Now we're blowing the roster up.
Which maybe it's time for that. Maybe it's time for you cash in on Jalen Ramsey.
I like the high side of the roster. It's just so thin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Los Angeles Rams have done a crash course on why people like me exist. Because you just turned your nose up at the draft, and you shined so brightly for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like a sparkler, you just went out.
Well, look, if you don't have the duration that other teams have to be there for the long haul, I mean, at least if you're going to be the sparkler,
I mean, they want
go big, and go home, right? Like Tampa Bay Buccaneers, L.A. Rams. If you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. Win you a title and then just fade into the ether.
There are about 4 teams right now that I guarantee you every team in the league is looking at going, okay, what do you do now?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've done this all different ways, whether it's Tampa Bay that you mentioned, the Rams that we were talking about. Okay, what do you do now? Like, how easy is it to come back from? I could argue the Rams are going to be in trouble for 5 years.
Quite possible.
Because you don't have any first-round talent.
Right. You have to rebuild those coffers somehow.
And that is one of the hardest things to do. We always talk about this with baseball. How good is your minor league system? We never do that with football teams, by the way. We should do that. We 100% should deep dive and do that next week. Sounds like a good topic for next week. It's hard. Once you get to this point where your 8 best players are all 28 or older, it is so hard to get young again.
It takes a lot, and it takes a lot
and stay competitive.
Right, and
now, you can get young. You're just going to be awful.
And it takes a lot of draft capital to do that. The problem is you've sold your future.
Mm-hmm.
But you did get the trophy. So you got to kind of weigh that out. And, Jeremy, you're seeing where we have been. Rams and Bucs fans have been for the last couple of years. If you've got a shot to win it all, don't you take it? Don't you do everything you can? If you think Aaron Rodgers is the path to a Lombardi trophy, the first one since 1969, then you do it.
And I'm not so sure I agree with you. I'm not. If I can sustain it for 10 years, which that roster is built to do, that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm telling you, there is a possibility that there is a dark time coming to the Los Angeles Rams that you have not seen the likes of in a long time. Because
since they were in St. Louis, I guess.
It could be worse than that.
Ooh.
Their 15-45 might be the worst roster I've ever seen in my life.
Yikes.
It's Houston Texan bad. The difference is their 1-14 is exponentially better than what these bad teams have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, You just lost one of those. Might be losing a couple more.
You're in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. We will continue our our off-season previews, team by team, coming up next. We've got a couple of AFC East teams on the docket today: New York Jets and the New England Patriots.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 26 eastbound between I-40 and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound in Haywood County, stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 due to construction. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Biltmore Forest area and Overlook Road. In Inca Village, Sardis Road moving slow between Sand Hill Road and Bavard Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with yours.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives you access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. iHeartMedia is your access company. Go to iHeartResults.com for more.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The off-season previews, team by team, continue. And it's time to talk about
the Jets, Jets.
Yeah, the New York Jets. There's a lot of talk on this program about the New York Jets, obviously.
Well, I mean, they're one of the most interesting teams of the offseason. It's not just because one of the hosts is a fan.
I was getting ready to say. Jeremy is a fan, yes, but it's also like, when we had to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so much.
Yeah, you wind up with Tom
fan.
Brady. Weird.
Right.
They become very, very relevant.
They become a thing. Now the New York Jets have one of the best defenses in the league. They had one of the best drafts of all time last year, just getting star after star after star.
Offensive and defensive rookie of the year. No
Indeed.
big deal.
Indeed.
No big deal. By the way, Brian Haynes got to firsthand feel what playing Jeremy in Madden looks like with the Jets. I am such a jerk.
That did not go well for him, did it?
77-0 with 2 seconds left.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sauce Gardner had more catches than Jamar Chase did, which is who he played with.
That's quite hilarious.
Yeah, he went, I don't believe there needs to be a repeat of that. No, nobody replaced me a third time.
The Jets have placed themselves firmly in the discussion of most interesting teams in this offseason. You got, obviously, the Zach Wilson thing. That's done. The Mike White thing, that was cute. But it's time for a quarterback.
That's the biggest story of the offseason.
Yeah, you're all in on getting a veteran quarterback. The owner is in on it. The GM is in on it. They are going to do whatever it takes to get that veteran quarterback. The question is that going to be Aaron Rodgers? Is that going to be Derek Carr?
I'm almost 100% sure it's going to be Derek Carr. I'm not the only one that has soured on this Aaron Rodgers thing.
Mm-hmm.
And look, they're going to make the call. They're going to make the offer if he decides he wants to continue to play. I just don't see that being how this ends. I don't. Derek Carr makes way more sense, especially with the holes on the roster. You don't have to give up a first-round pick, and it's a longer-term solution. The biggest issue that I've had with the Aaron Rodgers thing, it's a 2-year fix.
Yes.
2 years from now, you're in the exact same boat.
Mm-hmm. You have to know that you're there. You have to know that you're, okay, maybe we don't make the lead, but we got to make the playoffs next year and win a playoff game. Then you can feel good about the second year of the Aaron Rodgers experience. Anything short of that, and it will end up like you said, the New York media will rip him apart.
The fit there doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I mean, largely this team is going to be intact. They've only got a handful of free agents. The only one that I genuinely see coming back is Connor McGovern. Is the center. He played pretty well. But for me, and this is how I keep looking at it, would I rather have Aaron Rodgers by himself or Derek Carr and the 13th best player in this draft? Whether it's Peter Skoronski or Paris Johnson or Quentin Johnston or whatever the case.
To me, that's not a discussion.
And to me, it is. And to me,
you think it's not close to me.
It is to me because you're being short-sighted. This is not a roster that has a 3-year window. I'm looking at the 22 starters. Do you know how many of them are older than 27 years old?
Well, let me interrupt you for a second, Jeremy, because you assume too much. And you know what happens when you assume. Because I'm on the Derek Carr side of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I did assume that.
Yeah. If it comes down to it, and those are my choices, to have the 13th best player in the draft in Derek Carr or just Aaron Rodgers by himself, I'm fully in the Derek Carr camp. I think for the next 2 years, your ceiling's going to be higher with Aaron Rodgers. But again, you have to ask yourself, are you ready to make that step? Are we guaranteed? Of course, nothing's guaranteed, but do we feel like we have a high percentage of winning a Super Bowl in the next 2 years? My answer would be no.
And my answer would be, I've seen stranger things happen. I've seen stranger things happen because there are elements of this team that people forget about.
Mm-hmm.
You forget how deep that defensive line is. You forget how good that pass rush was. You forget how bad Zach Wilson was. There's a graphic out, I think it came from NBC Sports, of the quarterback rating every year Derek Carr's been in the league compared to the highest-rated passer for the Jets. In the last 7 years, there's only been one within 30 percentage points of him.
Wow.
That is staggering when you see it put together that way. You also got to look at the offensive line. When it gets healthy, if you've got we always talk about Mekhi Becton, he's you never know. He's played 8 snaps in 2 years. I don't know what you're going to get from him. I'm going to assume it's nothing. But I do think you have a guy in Elijah Vera-Tucker. It's not that hard to find another guard. Vera-Tucker's pretty good on the left side. You find someone to play on the right. Paris Johnson's the one that I keep throwing to him because it makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden I'm looking at that offense going, Yeah, that's not bad. Because I don't need as good as that defense is, I don't need the offense to be Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. I don't need you to be Pat Mahomes because I have something that none of the rest of you have. Every high-level contender in the AFC, none of you have a defense like this. And that gives me an edge there. Now, my offense does not contend with yours. But you give me Derek Carr, give me a couple of little pieces. I got Garrett Wilson that I think in the coming year will be a top 15 receiver in the league.
Well, you got to average over 20 points a game.
No doubt.
I mean, to be able to do anything in this league, you have to be able to score points. And you're right. I don't need the high octane, firing on all cylinders, no risk it, no biscuit kind of an offense here. I can run the ball really well.
That's another thing. You got Breece Hall and Zonovan Knight. And this team is loaded.
They are.
And they're loaded for a long time. That's the reason I can't do we got to do this in 2 years. I'm not sure you win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. If you told me that he comes in and the best they can do is you're in the divisional round, and then you've got a roster that 2 years from now, all of these guys start coming up, and you don't have a quarterback. That's when they leave. If you have Derek Carr that comes in and he's established and things are going well, now we want to keep the band together. And we have one of these that I'm going to break it into two parts.
I'm your huckleberry.
Gage Camplin, one of our resident candidates, said if the Jets don't get Carr or Rodgers, who would you want? I don't want to do the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. I'm tired of having hurt quarterbacks. The Jets have had hurt quarterbacks for what feels like 10 years. I'm good. I would make the run at Lamar, but I'm not going to overpay on it.
But I don't want hurt quarterbacks.
That's a little different scenario.
It is. I get it, but I throw that out there because it's the only drawback that you have.
I mean, for me, I'm not going to fail on Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
If the Rodgers thing is not realistic, I'm going to Derek Carr going, what do I have to do to get you signed right here? And the fact that his brother came out and was so honest about how that visit went tells me that's where he prefers to go. New Orleans is a fallback for him. If Carolina's not on the table, there's not a ton of other suitors that are going to pay $40 million for him.
Now, you mentioned when we were talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Before you get there, there was a second layer of that. He said, I'll play in Madden anytime and smoke the floor or mop the floor with you.
I also like to live dangerously.
Wow. That, my friend, sounds like a heck of a challenge.
Tank, as someone that has caught these hands.
It's not fun. It's not fun by any means, although I will throw this out there, Gage. Not saying that you should be scared or not, but I'd suck at Madden. So I was happy to keep it close, and I kept it within, 3 scores? I felt like that was – I was playing max cover defense basically and just, anyway. Yeah, it's not going to be – the funnest of experiences if you're not great at the game. Now, if you are, I don't know anything about Gage and his Madden
I'm
abilities.
Sure he's good. Anybody that says that's good.
Yeah.
But these hands come free. That's all I'm saying.
So y'all will have to make that happen. I get it. You were saying earlier when we were talking about Aaron Rodgers going to New York that the New York media would rip him apart.
I just don't see a path where that's not going to wear thin.
Yeah, see, I disagreed with you, saying I think Aaron Rodgers will be fine. First off, he doesn't care what the media says about him, and he's going to continue his act. I'm not so sure about Derek Carr. I don't know that Derek Carr can be the guy to take all the punishment and the criticism, and
he doesn't give you the fodder the way that Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah,
you got to understand.
Sometimes his play does.
It does. That comes with the territory. Like if you don't have thick skin, New York's not for you.
Right.
That's not so much what I'm worried about. I'm worried about all of the thing that New York has that none of these other markets have, that if you're not a fan of teams in the area, you don't understand. We have 5 newspapers that are bigger than anything you have. I don't care what city, Atlanta, Charlotte, you give me any city in this country. We have 5 that are bigger than anything you have. But that's newspapers. I get that. They have online subscribe. In New York, it matters.
Yeah.
They also have 2 full-time morning hosts that are battling each other every week. And guess what they're after? clicks, eyeballs, ear holes.
Yep.
That's what they're after. So they're going to be as spicy and as evil and vindictive. That's why New York's so tough. Aaron Rodgers gives you so much fodder for that I just see it being a cloud around the team, because it's not so much the quarterback I'm worried about. It's the young guys around the team, the Sauce and the Garrett Wilson and the Breece Hall. I don't want you answering questions about the quarterback all day, every day. We've already done that. I need somebody that comes in and is steady. That's all I need. And Derek Carr gives me that.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Derek Carr may give you that, but can he give you a Super Bowl? That's going to be the big question that the front office for the New York Jets has to answer. Obviously, quarterback is the biggest decision that the Jets have to make. It's practically the only decision that they have to make right now. So, coming up after the break, we will have the most important message of the day, no doubt. And we'll talk about the New England Patriots and what Bill Belichick and Bob are going to do this year in Foxborough.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers cruise in from the southwest. This is a little cold front trying its best to push our way and drop the numbers for Friday and the weekend. It's been a very warm day today. Light showers tonight, 50 degrees. Friday, cloudy, high 60, low 45. Some quarter-inch rains Friday night into Saturday morning. Showers on Saturday, cooler, high 54 degrees. We return to the upper 60s, though, by Monday next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road to approaching Long Shoals Road. 26 eastbound is busy between Bavard Road and Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound near George's Branch Road, traffic is slowing. Haywood County, 40 westbound, stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 due to construction. Hendersonville Road northbound is stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Biltmore Forest. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine now because people who have joint pain are getting real, lasting relief without drugs or surgery. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting treatment. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. If you have ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics. Steroids and surgery are not your only option, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover this remarkable alternative. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available for everyone tired of joint pain. Don't put this off any longer. Spring is coming and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics now, 828-333-9517. Get a free consultation with local medical professionals. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517 with locations in Asheville and Greenville. That's 828-333-9517.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
It is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Don't do crimes. It's never a good idea to do crimes. You never want to be on the wrong side of the law. And today's story takes us to Memphis, Tennessee. A man was taken into custody after Memphis police say he ate 2 bags of chips. Problem was, the 2 bags of chips that he ate, they were someone else's, and that somebody else had actually stolen them from a convenience store. So according to reports on February the 9th, the man got into an argument with the store clerk because she wouldn't sell him beer. The man then took an entire display of chips, the entire kiosk of chips, and put them in his car. While walking with the display, several bags of chips fell to the ground, police said, noting that the clerk had followed the man out of the store. After the suspect drove off, another man picked up 2 of the fallen bags of chips, which were valued at $4.98. Minutes later, officers found the man who picked up those bags of chips with crumbs on his face. Police said they reviewed the video footage and concluded that Braswell was aware of the theft. He knew that the guy had taken the chips, and he picked up the stolen property and then ate it. Therefore, I mean, just because you find it, Jeremy, doesn't mean you get to keep it.
I've never said that it was finders keepers. I have always just said if you put money in my bank account, don't be surprised when I spend it.
Mr. Braswell has been charged with theft of merchandise of less than $1,000. He was to appear in court this morning.
My story from Santa Maria, California. It's about a 31-year-old man, and he just went into a courthouse because he had received a notice to appear about a vandalism case.
Okay.
As you do. It does not say if he was a suspect, if he was a witness. It doesn't say that. So he goes in, he speaks to the magistrate. Magistrate tells him that he has to appear in court on this day, and that, in theory, would be the end of the story. Except it wasn't. He learned the location of the courtroom that he was supposed to appear in next month. Guard tells him you can't go in there because we're not in open court, anything like that. It's blocked off. The man broke down a wood door frame and entered the Department 8 courtroom, where he ignited a fire that melted lights in the ceiling, scorched furniture, and caused the sprinkler system to come on.
Wow.
Water soaked the courtroom, leaked into an adjacent holding cell, destroyed computers, and damaged documents. They estimate that this caused over $500,000 in damage.
Whoa.
Do you know what the vandalism was for?
No.
Somebody stole Cokes from a gas station.
There's
it doesn't say if he's the one that did it, if he saw somebody do it. Nobody knows. It was over petty theft. It was a misdemeanor case. And now,
wow.
And now, because he scores quite high on the FAFO scale.
Yes.
His name is Eric Spies, by the way. He was arrested and held on $75,000 bail and is now facing just a slew of charges that are all considerably bigger than the one he showed up for. If you fall, you will foe.
Yeah, I've never understood that.
I just don't understand lighting fire. I don't ever understand lighting fires. I don't love fire.
Really?
I got burned as a kid. I mean, not like super badly, but I have a scar. And I don't. If you flick a lighter too close to me, that's very high on my FAFO scale.
Really?
That's a real good chance of you missing some teeth when it's
interesting. I always thought that was because of all the beard oil that you have.
Well, it's that too, because my whole head is like kindling. My whole head I could just turn into the heat miser and poof. Yeah, I don't play with fire.
Yeah, if Jeremy shows up one day looking like Deadpool, we all know what happened. Somebody flicked a Bic too close to his face, and it all went up in smoke.
Takes a lot of work to look this trashy.
Yeah. All right, it is the Sportsocracy, and we are here on ESPN Asheville. Previews of the offseason continuing here with the New England Patriots.
This is an incredibly interesting team to me as well.
Now, is it just because it's the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, and regardless of how bad you think they're going to be every year, they still find a way to be competitive?
No, they find a way to be competitive because the defense is good. And because they can run the ball. You're just not a threat to anything. I have heard a handful of rumors and reports, and a little birdie told me they're not dead sold on Mac Jones. They're not sure Mac Jones is any better than Bailey Zapp.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know that either one is really a high-level quarterback in this league. I feel like I tried to tell you that. The high side of this was never high.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason that I never bought into the San Francisco is going to take Mac Jones at 3. I never bought into it until the day of the draft, and I did buy in it. I was wrong. Drew the line in the sand, and then at the last second went, I believe it now.
Yep.
Oh, shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that. Because that's not how. Look, Mac Jones is fine, but we've said since he came into the league that he's a game manager.
Mm-hmm. He's the high side of Colt McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not going to get you anywhere in this league. But this team does have money.
Mm-hmm.
They have the 6th most cap space in the league. You've got a couple players that I think you're going to let walk. I don't think they're putting a franchise tag on Jonathan Jones or on Jakobi Meyers.
If you were going to choose one, I would go Jonathan Jones.
I would too. I feel like Jakobi Meyers is it would be hard for me to pay him knowing that there's a chance I will have a shot at any receiver I want in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
Short of Houston at 12, there's not a team that's taking one in front of me. So, I mean, at worst, I'm gonna have my choice of Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison. I can get a guy. Where I get more curious, a report came out last week that they would consider trading Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
What would you get? All right, let's say they just wanted to tap out. We're done.
I give you a 5.
And so that's where I'm at. I don't think any team's going to give you anything of any. I mean, because there's one place that makes sense. It's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're dead set on taking, whether it's I've heard Hendon Hooker, I've heard Anthony Richardson. All right, Mac Jones would be a nice bridge if you could get him pretty cheaply. And I think you would. But he was the first-round pick. I don't care. How many quarterbacks in this draft would you evaluate as a better prospect than Mac Jones?
5.
It's at least 4. It's at least 4. So I just – that would be interesting to me. If Bill was willing to move on from Mac Jones and go, this is the devil I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know exactly what I have in Bailey Zapp. And you invest the money into the offense. The defense is going to be fine. Bill was pretty high on the FAFO scale last year, too, thinking he can take old pencil behind his ear, Pat Matricia, and Joe Judge and put together a even halfway coherent offense.
Mm-hmm. But this is why this offseason they went out and brought Bill O'Brien back. You had to have a dedicated offensive mind.
You did. I'm not as jump up and down about that as everybody else. I'm just not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Bill O'Brien's fine. I see our resident Patriot fan, Bill Belichick, said, "Here we go."
I was going to say, was it the sexiest move that you could have made? No, but was it the best move that you could possibly make with this staff intact? And I just don't see young coordinators wanting to go work for Bill Belichick.
That was the next thing I was going to say.
Right,
it's probably the best thing you could have done.
Right, like would it have made sense for Dave Canales to go from Seattle to New England to work under Bill Belichick?
No
probably
less sense.
More than
I was about to say no less sense than it made him going to Tampa Bay.
I was going to say probably more sense
to go
than
work
for him
with
to
Kyle
go,
Trask.
Yeah, to go. Hey, I want to move to Tampa for the next 9 months and then immediately get fired after the season. But that's aside for the point.
I just feel like New England has to do something to get out of the purgatory. If that's moving off Mac, I think moving off Mac Jones is a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I can tell you that Bailey Zapp is drastically better than him, but I can tell you exactly what Mac is. It's not shade when I say this. I mean, I pull for a team in your division. You don't worry me in the least. But we beat you twice. Okay. In one of those, we threw for 80 yards.
Mm-hmm.
We had 106 yards total, and you needed a punt return to beat us.
Yeah. Give me Derek Carr and see what happens.
I have no fear of that. I look at Buffalo and go, that's the big bad wolf on the street. The Miami Dolphins are pretty close. And I just look at New England and go, okay, so if you're better than us, then we were bad. And if we're not bad, you're not going to be better than us. But you've got money, you've got malleable pieces, and you do still have Bill. And now you've got an offensive coordinator that actually, coordinates offense.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought I'd have to explain that to a team, but apparently you do. I just feel like New England is the perpetual 8-9, 9-8 team.
Yep. The problem that I have with this offseason is, as you mentioned, New England's got the 6th most money to spend. Well, the last time you had money to spend,
you went heavy on Hunter Henry, right. And you got Matthew Judon.
But I don't feel warm and fuzzy about anything else you did.
No.
And that's the problem that I have is, are you going to be able to put together a free agent class that I go, oh, okay, well, this can at least threaten for 3rd place in your division.
I mean, and that's the thing. You just the high side is what New England might be the safest team in the NFL because there's not one player on that roster that could get hurt where I go, well, you're 3-14 now.
Mm-hmm.
There's also not a player on that roster that I go, well, if he hits the high side, you could be 11-6 and contend for the – no. You're 8-9, 9-8.
Yeah.
So I won't be shocked. And you just remember where you heard this. I won't be shocked if New England does something really over the top that you haven't seen them do anything like that since they made the move for Randy Moss. Bill knows where this team is. I've always thought that. Now I'm being told that. He knows I'm in quicksand, and I have to get out of it somehow.
Well, I don't think DeAndre Hopkins really wants to come play for Bill O'Brien again. So.
Yeah, we can stop that anytime.
I have seen that thrown out there many times. Like, oh, he could go to the New England Patriots. Do you know who their offensive coordinator is? I'm pretty sure DeAndre doesn't want to do that again.
They're not on each other's Christmas card list. Let's just put it that way.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway, 26 eastbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound pockets of slow traffic volume between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and Georges Branch Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 due to construction. Hendersonville Road southbound is crawling between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. An accident in the stretch near Peachtree Road has the center turn lane closed. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow, and Brevard Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Clayton Road. I'm Linden Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Hey, it's Brian from the Sports Freaks inviting you to join us live on location Monday night at Bear's Smokehouse on Cox Avenue in downtown Asheville. It's a Big South Tournament preview show with the head coaches of the Bulldogs, Mike Morrell and Honey Brown. We'll have some cool giveaways and awesome food as well. Come on out and join us Monday 6 to 8, Bear's Smokehouse, downtown Asheville.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all.
iHeartRadio.
Access to all of your favorite radio stations.
It's Ryan Seacrest. I go by the name of Charlamagne the God.
Hi, I'm Ellen Kay.
Bobby Bones here.
Hola, soy Enrique Santos.
Access to all of the best free curated playlists.
My favorite music. The best songs.
A little bit of everything.
Access to all of the great podcasts for every interest.
The Stuff You Should Know podcast.
The Daily Show podcast.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
And best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Download the absolutely free iHeartRadio app now.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, March the 2nd through the 6th for the 2023 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships. Experience fun for the whole family as your favorite teams compete for the championship and a berth to the NCAA tournament. Get your discounted tickets to the 2023 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships today at your local neighborhood Ingles Market. For more information, visit SoConHoops.com. That's SoConHoops.com.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Just a few moments left in the program here. We can't say goodbye, though, without giving you the latest update on a possible change in franchise ownership in the NFL. Remember when we last gave you the Washington Commanders update? I told you that there had not been an offer made by Jeff Bezos to buy the Commanders. Well, today, the Washington Post is reporting that Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has hired an investment firm called Allen & Company to evaluate the potential bid. So he's turning it over to the investment firm to think about buying the Washington Commanders. It's a step in the right direction, at least. This is the same firm, by the way, that handled David Tepper's bid to buy the Carolina Panthers. They also,
I can't feel like there's a lot of firms that handle $7 billion investments.
Right. They're also the firm that helped the Walton Penner Group just buy the Broncos. So this is the heavy hitters that have experience in these transactions. So Jeff Bezos, now officially official, he is at least in the running.
He's interested. And who's surprised?
No one.
I mean, that's the way it should go. We're to a point at this point. If you're in that top 100 of richest people in the country, I can't figure out why you don't own an NFL team. It's one investment that I guarantee you is going to do nothing but gain value and print money.
Yes, the reports are that Daniel Snyder wants $7 billion for the Washington Commanders. Preliminary expressions of interest made in December 2022. The highest bid was $6.3 billion.
I was about to say 7 seems a little high with a dumpy stadium. Now with a new stadium, now we're talking. Or at least a new home site. Well, at least something.
I was going to say, they're not going to get one done, obviously. And they're not going to get the purchase either. Because Daniel Snyder's made too many enemies. And they don't want him to be able to sell it for top dollar.
No, but if you got an investor, Bezos can make it work. That's the way that ends up going.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. I will just say this. Go fighting Amazon Primes.
Bingo.
We will be back with you tomorrow right here on 92.9 FM at 3 o'clock.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Watching some rain showers cruise in from the southwest. This is a little cold front trying its best to push our way and drop the numbers for Friday and the weekend. It's been a very warm day today. Light showers tonight, 50 degrees. Friday, cloudy, high 60, low 45. Some quarter-inch rains Friday night into Saturday morning. Showers on Saturday, cooler, high 54 degrees. We return to the upper 60s, though, by Monday next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
North Carolina Highway Patrol reporting 240 eastbound near Tunnel Road, an accident. The right ramp lanes are closed. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound near George's Branch Road is slow. 40 westbound in Haywood County, stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 due to construction. Hendersonville Road southbound crawling between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. An accident near Peachtree Road has the center turn lane closed. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. NC 191 north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road near Avery Creek. Traffic is stop and go. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.